Chapter 1981. Qin Feng's expression turned serious. He realized that Mu Feng had also comprehended his realm and that it had reached the major success stage. There were even signs of it touching the stage. However, Qin Feng had seen a real stage before, so he was sure that Mu Feng hadn't formed it yet. Although it was similar to a stage, the difference in power was like heaven and earth. When the white light completely filled the forest, Qin Feng's domain completely disappeared. Originally, with his divine sense, he could control every leaf, every blade of grass, and even the flow of air. But now, he couldn't feel anything at all. Haha, a mere true spirit cultivator dares to compete with a body condensation realm? What a joke. When his own realm swallowed Qin Feng's realm, Mu Feng revealed an arrogant smile. He wasn't in a hurry to kill Qin Feng and said, "To be able to comprehend a realm at the true spirit realm, and even to the minor success stage, you can be considered the first person in the South Flat Continent. It can be seen that your path of cultivation is boundless. You must have entered the gate of life. Quickly hand over the treasures inside, and this old man might spare your dog life if I'm in a good mood." Qin Feng was anxious. He tried to break Mu Feng's realm but was powerless. Mu Feng was a body condensation realm cultivator after all. Whether it was his comprehension of the realm or the strength of his true essence, it far surpassed Qin Feng. Qin Feng even felt some regret. He blamed himself for being too rash, challenging a body condensation realm level 2 expert at Hollow God realm level 3, but it was too late to say anything now. Luckily, Qin Feng found that although he couldn't break Mu Feng's realm, he could still form a small space of his own. However, that space was pitifully small and could only cover a 1-meter radius around him. But this was already enough for him to rejoice. At least he could still maintain his freedom in Mu Feng's realm. I have indeed entered the gate of life. There are many treasures inside. Not only are there 4 spirit essence ponds, there are also 1,000 spirit crystals and even a tree of life. Qin Feng knew that either he or Mu Feng would die today, so there was no need to hide the secret of the mountain of life. Elder Mu Feng's eyes flickered with ecstasy. So the rumors are true. There really is a tree of life on the mountain of life. He knew the tree of life very well. It was one of the 10 great immortal herbs of the divine continent. Rumor had it that the tree of life could purify one's mind and improve one's perception. No wonder that aunt surnamed Qin had such a high cultivation at such a young age. He had actually obtained the tree of life. Quickly hand over the tree of life and the spirit essence pond. Mu Feng could not contain his excitement. Qin Feng sneered in his heart. How could he hand over the tree of life? The reason why he revealed the secret of the tree of life was mainly to destroy Mu Feng's mental state. Qin Feng was still not satisfied with the current results. He continued to provoke the other party. Not only is there a tree of life and a spirit marrow pond on the mountain of life, but there are also 3 spirit veins. Mu Feng's eyes emitted a green light, and his breathing began to quicken. There are also thousands of supreme-grade spirit stones and countless high-level spirit herbs. Oh, right. I still have more than 1,000 soul crystals, hundreds of millions of high-grade spirit stones, countless spirit weapons, more than a dozen true weapons. Mu Feng's palms began to sweat. He was a dignified great elder of a 6-star sect, a mighty body condensation realm expert, but he wasn't as wealthy as Qin Feng. He somewhat doubted the veracity of Qin Feng's words. However, even if Qin Feng was lying, at least half of it was true. Just half of the resources that Qin Feng had just mentioned was enough to make Mu Feng go crazy. Don't talk nonsense. Hurry up and hand over the treasures. I promise to let you go. Mu Feng was impatient. Qin Feng smiled and said, I can give you the treasures, but you have to acknowledge me as your master first. Kowtow 3 times and call me master. I will immediately give you the treasures. Mu Feng immediately became furious. Stinking brat, you still dare to be so arrogant when you're about to die. At most, I will kill you first. In the end, those treasures will still be mine. A sharp cry came from the air. It was neither the cry of a sword nor the wind of a blade. Mu Feng didn't seem to be using any techniques. His white robe, however, was bulging as if a blower were hidden there. Countless spiritual bugs flew out of his sleeves and his neckline. They were so dense that they looked like a burning cloud. Qin Feng immediately recognized these spiritual insects. They were the fire spiritual insects he had seen in the deep cave of the Thousand Insect Valley. This kind of spiritual insect was ranked 58th on the Divine Continent. Its body was fiery red, and its body released scorching energy. After the fire spirit insects appeared, they didn't attack. However, when Mu Feng made a strange sound, the fire spirit insects seemed to have received an order and rushed forward. Mu Feng was still there. The air and the white light stopped flowing. The speed of the fire spirit insects was even faster. In the blink of an eye, they flew in front of Qin Feng. Whoosh! A piece of deep blue flame suddenly rose into the air like a sunflower petal. The moment the flame touched the fire spirit worm, a crackling sound that sounded like frying beans rang out. The fire spirit insects instantly fell to the ground. Their bodies were burnt black. A strong burnt smell floated in the forest, making people feel suffocated. The smile on Mu Feng's face froze. He didn't even have time to feel sorry for the spirit insects he had raised for many years. He stared at the blue flame floating in the air in shock and shouted, "This is the heavenly fire spirit sunflower? It really is the spirit sunflower flame that is ranked 20th in the Divine Continent. Isn't it just the heavenly fire spirit sunflower? Why are you so excited? I still have several types of heavenly fire. As long as you acknowledge me as your master, I will give them to you. How about it?" Qin Feng pretended to be relaxed. Mu Feng didn't even have time to be angry with Qin Feng. At this moment, he was extremely depressed. Even a body condensation realm expert like him didn't have the opportunity to encounter a heavenly fire. Who would have thought that Qin Feng, a mere true spirit realm cultivator, would have so many fortuitous encounters? Not only did he open the door of life, he even had a heavenly fire in his hands. Ha ha ha. The tree of life, the spirit marrow pond, and the heavenly fire, these are all mine. You can die now. Mu Feng didn't care about the fact that the fire spirit insects were instantly burned by the heavenly fire. As he laughed maniacally, his white robe swelled up again, and new spirit insects flew out. They were like drops of blood, and when they gathered together, they formed a spectacular river of blood. Bloodthirsty insects? Qin Feng frowned. He had seen this kind of spirit insect before. It was the bloodthirsty insects hidden at the bottom of the Thousand Lotus Lake in the Thousand Insect Valley. At that time, many cultivators gathered around the myriad lotus lake, trying to steal a 9-leaf fire spirit lotus at the center of the lake. But suddenly, countless bloodthirsty bugs flew out of the bottom of the lake and devoured a large number of cultivators. Even many hollow spirit realm cultivators died. Even the cauldron-filling state Grand Elder of Time Moon Mountain, Xia Zhong, fled in panic. At that time, Qin Feng couldn't use the heavenly fire to deal with the bloodthirsty insects and almost lost his life in the Thousand Lotus Lake. In the end, he had to release the hunting turtles to survive. As these thoughts flashed through his mind, tens of thousands of bloodthirsty insects had already surrounded Qin Feng. When those spirit insects flew, it was like a flowing blood vessel. The scene was extremely strange. My bloodthirsty insects haven't drunk human blood for a long time, especially the blood of a peak true spirit cultivator like you. Today, I will let them eat their fill. Mu Feng laughed crazily, but halfway through his laughter, his expression suddenly froze. His old eyes were filled with horror as he looked at the strange scene in the sky in disbelief. He didn't know when a small spirit insect had appeared, but it was definitely not the fire spirit insect or the bloodthirsty insects he raised. It didn't seem to be a spirit insect at all. It was only the size of an earthworm, and its body was emitting a dazzling golden light. It was clearly only the size of a pinky, but it opened its mouth and swallowed the bloodthirsty insects like a vacuum cleaner. Quang, 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 quang. The sound of the hunting turtles eating was very loud, like the sound of an excavator. The tens of thousands of bloodthirsty insects disappeared at a speed visible to the naked eye, and some of the spirit insects that hadn't been swallowed began to flee in panic. What the hell is this? Why have I never seen it before? Mu Feng's eyes almost fell to the ground. Qin Feng looked at the scene of the hunting turtles crazily swallowing the spirit insects and felt refreshed in his heart. A moment later, he found that because of the hunting turtles' devouring effect, even the magnetic field of Mu Feng's domain had become chaotic, and the binding effect was rapidly weakening. Old fart, release whatever spirit insects you have. My little pet has just started warming up, Qin Feng shouted. Mu Feng almost spat out a mouthful of old blood. Those spirit insects were treasures that he had painstakingly raised, and each of them was extremely precious. Now, thousands of fire spirit insects had been burned to death by Qin Feng's heavenly fire, and tens of thousands of bloodthirsty insects had been swallowed by an unknown thing. His heart was dripping blood crazily. What kind of spirit insect is that? Mu Feng didn't directly make a move. He was full of curiosity about the hunting turtles. Who said the hunting turtles are spirit insects? It's an immortal beast. The hunting turtles were not immortal beasts. They were rank 9-star beasts in the Hedonist sovereign system. However, it was not easy to explain things like the system and star beasts to Mu Feng. He was afraid that the other party wouldn't understand. Qin Feng simply defined the hunting turtles as immortal beasts. He was not exaggerating. He even guessed that when the hunting turtles evolved to the peak, they would be even more ferocious and powerful than real immortal beasts. Immortal beast? Do you think I'm a 3-year-old child? Mu Feng clearly didn't believe it. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not. Go to hell in peace. Qin Feng let out a low roar. His body suddenly shot into the void, escaping from the boundary created by Mu Feng. As the boundary fell, a black light burst out, enveloping a large area of the forest in darkness. Qin Feng immediately took out the 100-mile light sniper and pulled the trigger. A sea of lightning arrived. Whoosh! The sky above the black camp was cut open by a bolt of purple lightning. The light was dazzling. Then, dozens of lightning bolts as thick as a person's waist appeared and bombarded the forest. The violent aura seemed like it was going to destroy the earth. How did you do it? What kind of lightning is this? Mu Feng was once again stunned by Qin Feng's methods. How could this be a lightning attack that an ordinary true spirit cultivator could trigger? Even a cultivator with lightning spiritual roots couldn't do it. Looking at the sea of lightning that filled the sky, it was comparable to a void god realm lightning tribulation. In just a moment of being stunned, several lightning bolts had already exploded on Mu Feng's body. Such a fierce lightning bolt could even kill a true spirit cultivator and heavily injure a void god. However, when it struck Mu Feng's body, it only caused some superficial wounds. P.S. 3 chapters for the monthly votes. Chapter 1982. Mu Feng was stunned for a moment before he suddenly laughed wildly. Haha. What bullshit lightning strike. It looks fierce but useless. I advise you not to resist pointlessly. As long as you obediently hand over the treasure, I can give you a quick death. Qin Feng didn't know how many powerful cultivators he had killed with the power of the lightning tribulation, but he realized that the current power of the lightning tribulation was far from enough to kill a body condensation state supreme being. However, even if the lightning tribulation didn't threaten Mu Feng's life, it could still injure him. As for Mu Feng's current indifference, he was just putting up a strong front. Since you don't fear the lightning, then I'll turn the lightning into a sea. Let's see how long you can last. Qin Feng roared. It was as if a large bell fell from the sky and stood in front of him. The heaven bell's mouth faced towards Mu Feng. Before he could react, tens of waist-thick lightning bolts shot out. They instantly crisscrossed in the air and enveloped the entire area in a sea of lightning. Crackle. The lightning bolts, strengthened by the heaven bell, were extremely ferocious and let out a loud sound that tore through the sky. Mu Feng instantly sensed that something was wrong and stepped into the air to escape. However, the sea of lightning seemed to be endless and new lightning bolts kept falling, blocking his path of retreat. With a muffled bang, a lightning bolt tore through the sky and struck Mu Feng's head, blasting him to the ground. He landed right in the center of the sea of lightning. The rumbling of thunder was deafening and dazzling lightning bolts kept falling. Even if Mu Feng wanted to escape, his body was exploding and he completely lost control. Qin Feng would not let go of any chance to kill him and immediately rushed over on his flying sword. He unleashed all of his trump cards in an instant. While he was still in midair, he struck out several palms, and the heavenly spirit sunflower flame in the shape of a single petal dyed half the sky blue. Following that, thousands of silver spear projections descended. Rumble. The center of the sea of lightning exploded, and it looked like the end of the world. Blade light, sword shadows, heavenly fire. All of them exploded in that area. After a series of fierce attacks, Qin Feng immediately used the soul returning technique. At the same time, he secretly released the hunting pincer, planning to give Mu Feng a fatal blow. After an intense battle, Qin Feng realized that with his current strength, it would be difficult for him to kill a body condensation state supreme being. If he used it with a hunting pincer, his chances of winning would greatly increase. Under the ferocious sea of thunder and Qin Feng's continuous attacks, Mu Feng had long been overwhelmed. Right now, he only wanted to escape from the sea of thunder as soon as possible and did not notice the hunting turtles approaching. And with the surname Qin, if it weren't for that old bastard Xian Hai injuring me in the city, who do you think you are? Mu Feng roared as he fled. It could be seen that his heart was filled with anger. Only then did Qin Feng wake up. No wonder Mu Feng's true essence was consumed so quickly. He had only stayed in the Thunder Sea for half an incense stick of time, yet he was like a lamp that had run out of oil. It turned out that he had already suffered internal injuries. With Qin Feng's intelligence, he immediately understood why Xian Hai had attacked. Xian Hai didn't attack just because Mu Feng had broken the rules of the 80-kilometer city. The main reason was that he had long known that Mu Feng wanted to kill him. By injuring Mu Feng, it was obvious that he had secretly helped him. After figuring out this series of relationships, Qin Feng could not help but sigh. These powerful seniors of the divine continent not only had heaven-defying cultivation, but their shrewdness was even more astounding. At this time, Mu Feng was already making a last-ditch struggle. Blood kept spurting out of his mouth, and his body was charred black. He no longer had the demeanor of an expert from before. Grandson with the surname Qin, even if this old man dies today, I will drag you down with me. A roar that even overshadowed the rolling thunder rang out. Fierce winds surged around Mu Feng's body, and raging flames appeared under his skin. He was actually burning his blood essence. This was a method that would cause both sides to suffer. Cultivators could instantly increase their strength by burning their blood essence, but the price was extremely high. When their blood essence was burned out, their lifespan would also come to an end. Mu Feng completely burned his blood essence, without leaving a path of retreat. His entire body was on fire, and at this time, he was like a flaming man flying out of the sea of thunder. The lightning was still fiercely bombarding his body, but it did not affect him at all. His speed did not even slow down, and as soon as he rushed to the sky where Qin Feng was floating, he slammed his palms down. Bang, 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 bang. Each palm raised a large hand of true essence, bringing with it a loud sound of breaking the wind. These large hands of true essence were still burning, and it was as spectacular as the appearance of Buddha's palm. When the 5 palm prints overlapped, covering half of the sky, it was like a black cloud falling from the top of Qin Feng's head. If you want to die, then die by yourself. This old man hasn't lived enough yet. Qin Feng cursed and immediately took out his imprisonment and slashed down with his saber. Black light shot out in all directions, and the surrounding airflow instantly froze. The rapidly falling palm print floated in the air, like a frozen scene of dark clouds. Your realm can't even withstand a single blow. Break for me. Mu Feng was determined to perish together with Qin Feng. The flames on his body rose once again, and when his blood essence burned, it made a crackling sound like frying beans. Just listening to it made people's hair stand on end. Soon, a dazzling white light fell from the sky. Wherever it went, the black light cast by the imprisonment was swallowed and disappeared, and the realm formed by Qin Feng also quickly weakened and faded away. Seeing that the palm print was about to fall to the ground again, Qianfen stood in the air motionlessly. His divine sense swept towards the hunting pincer, and all his hopes were placed on this little guy. The hunting pincer seemed to be aware of the crisis its master was in at the moment. After lurking for a long time, it launched its first attack. With a leap, it turned into a black shadow and drilled into Mu Feng's body. A few seconds later, Mu Feng's expression changed greatly, and his attack suddenly stopped. He glared at Qianfen and roared, "You treacherous child! You dare to plot against this old man." As he cursed, he urged his true essence to try to force the hunting pincer out. However, the hunting pincer was so fast that he couldn't accurately capture it. Qianfen's realm expanded again, covering half of the woodland. Mu Feng's old eyes were about to explode, and his body constantly emitted muffled sounds. It wasn't the sound of burning blood essence, but the sound of true essence exploding. The explosion lasted for an incense stick of time, and Mu Feng finally fell straight down. This guy was able to persist for so long under the bombardment of the Sea of Thunder and the hunting pincers devouring. It was completely beyond Qianfen's expectations. Qianfen fell to the ground and sat on the ground, gasping for breath. This battle had exhausted him, and he had almost died. He thought that Mu Feng was already dead, but a ball of light shot out from his body. The ball of light seemed to be frightened and quickly fled. Quang, 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 quang. Without waiting for Qianfen's attack, the hunting pincer had already caught up and swallowed the ball of light. Mu Feng's scream came from the ball of light. "Don't eat me, spare my life." The hunting pincer didn't care about Mu Feng's begging for mercy. It quickly swallowed the ball of light and then flew to Qianfen's shoulder, seemingly digesting it. This was the first time Qianfen saw the hunting pincer's stomach swollen. It was as big as a ball, and it seemed to have indigestion. However, when this little guy swallowed tens of thousands of spirit insects, he didn't see it become like this. Chapter 1983. Master, the hunting turtle swallowed Mu Feng's primordial spirit. Little Pig said. Qianfen's eyes widened. Though he hadn't formed a primordial spirit yet, he knew that it was the new body formed when the hollow god realm broke through to the body condensation state. Once a cultivator had a primordial spirit, they would be immortal. As long as the primordial spirit was still there, they could even take over the bodies of low-level cultivators. The primordial spirit could be said to be the condensation of a body condensation realm cultivator's lifetime cultivation. It contained an incomparably violent true essence. Even Qianfen couldn't absorb this kind of powerful true essence all at once. As a result, the hunting pincer directly swallowed Mu Feng's primordial spirit into its stomach. However, the hunting turtle didn't seem to be feeling well. Its swollen like a rubber ball made a rumbling noise. It seemed like the sound of true yuan exploding. Master, the hunting turtle said it's going to sleep for a while. Little Pig translated. Qianfen realized that this little guy probably needed time to digest Mu Feng's primordial spirit. Mu Feng was, after all, a body condensation state. One could imagine how powerful his lifetime cultivation was. How long is it going to sleep for? That's hard to say. It could be a month, a year, or even 8 to 10 years. Little Pig said. Qianfen rolled his eyes. If the hunting turtle was going to sleep for 10 years, then it might as well not wake up after eating a few stabilizing pills. He sat on the ground and recuperated. Qianfen recovered 30% of his strength. He got up and walked to the grassland where Muhi died. He picked up the 3 storage rings on the ground. When he thought about how a body condensation state died just like that, he couldn't help but be shocked. Mu Feng was indeed a body condensation state. The 3 storage rings were filled with abundant cultivation resources. One of the rings was used to store spirit stones. There were at least 200 million high-grade spirit stones, hundreds of supreme-grade spirit stones, and tens of spirit crystals. The other 2 storage rings were used to store spirit herbs and spirit weapons and some smithing materials. The resources in these 2 rings couldn't be underestimated. Qianfen had earned a lot this time. Qianfen didn't continue to look at the 3 storage rings in detail because a group of people walked over. These people were dressed in rags and had unkempt hair. They even had chains on their hands and feet. "Are you the 88 cauldrons?" Qin Feng asked. The crowd was in a state of panic, and they stood dozens of meters away in fear of Qin Feng. A true spirit realm cultivator took 2 steps forward and said, Senior, we are all cultivation furnaces sold by dominating Heaven Furnace Trading Company. Originally, we were bought by Immortal Gourd's sex elder, but since Senior killed him, we belong to you now. These human cauldrons were mostly male. When Qin Feng heard the words, all belong to you, he couldn't help but shiver. You're all free now.
Go.
Qin Feng sympathized with the fate of these human cauldrons. If he hadn't coincidentally encountered his father who had escaped, he didn't know what kind of situation his father and grandfather would be in. These human cauldrons obviously had their own families, so how could their families not be worried? The group of cultivators was stunned and looked at Qin Feng in astonishment. The Divine Supreme Continent was a place where only the strong were respected. As long as one's strength was low, one's status would be lower than others. Qin Feng had just killed a body condensation realm expert, Mu He, not long ago. It was obvious that his strength was above everyone else. No one expected such a powerful expert to let them go. Senior, are you really willing to let us go? The true spirit realm cultivator's voice trembled. Qin Feng said solemnly, everyone should be equal regardless of their status. My cultivation is just a bit higher than yours temporarily. Who knows if there will be someone more powerful than me among you in the future? I won't use you for cultivation. You can leave at any time. The crowd couldn't believe it. It was their first time seeing such a kind senior like Qin Feng. A few cultivators came back to their senses and left immediately. The other cultivators saw that Qin Feng really didn't stop them, so they also ran away. The true spirit realm cultivator cupped his fists at Qin Feng before he left. Thank you for saving my life, Senior. I am Duo, a disciple of East Dragon Palace. If Senior goes to East Dragon Palace in the future, you must come find me. Qin Feng didn't expect that the true spirit realm cultivator was a beast cultivator. Although he had already smelled the beast chi in the crowd, it was hard to determine who was the beast cultivator when there were more than 80 people standing together. Qin Feng let out a sigh of relief when he saw the 88 cultivation furnaces leave. Although he didn't know what would happen to these people in the future and whether they would be captured as cultivation furnaces again, he could only help them this much. After sorting out his emotions, Qin Feng continued his journey. He planned to go to Grey Island first to find the treasure map that Ke gave him. If he still couldn't find the treasure in a month, he would go to the Sword Peak to meet up with Xian Hai. The map that Ke gave him was very detailed. It even marked out the interior of the island's 3 major areas. This map was definitely drawn by a cultivator who had been to the 3 major areas of Grey Island and had gone deep into them. The depths of the 3 major areas of Grey Island had long been occupied by beast cultivators and had been designated as forbidden areas. It was clear that this map was an extremely precious resource. After the time it took for 2 incense sticks to burn, Qin Feng officially entered the Grey Island area. In fact, the outer area of Grey Island was only 80 miles away from 80 Mile City, which was how the city got its name. After Qin Feng participated in the auction, he purposely took detours in the wilderness outside of 80 Mile City in order to get rid of his pursuers. Just as he stepped into the Grey Island area, Qin Feng smelled a strong scent of seawater and beast cultivators. Just as he landed his flying sword, 4 black shadows jumped out from behind him. Ha! Here comes another ignorant human. Third Prince, this brat is only at Nihility God Realm level 3. Do you plan to kill him yourself, or do you want us to do it for you? Human ant, daring to step into Grey Island area, you are simply courting death. The 4 of them had strange appearances. 3 of them were old fellas with human heads and fish bodies. Their bodies were covered with sharp and sturdy scales. The other young man looked like a human, but his body was covered with seawater mist, and he had a pair of horns on his head. The young man with horns was called the Third Prince. He waved his hand, and a fiery red long spear appeared in his hand. He was about to attack Qin Feng. White Flood Dragon, you are bullying human cultivators again. Stop right now. Before the long spear could attack, another black shadow flew over. This person looked to be in his early 30s, similar to the third prince's age. This person had completely transformed into a human's body and appearance. He wore a white robe and had an elegant demonic aura. However, there was a faint demonic aura on his body, revealing his true identity. After this handsome man appeared, the three old fellas' faces turned cold. The horned third prince scolded, "Qi Longxing, it's you again. Are you a beast cultivator or not? Why are you always speaking up for human cultivators?" The handsome man had already landed beside Qin Fen. Qin Fen glanced at him and saw that he was a Nihility God Realm Level 3 beast cultivator. The horned young man was at Nihility God Realm Level 4. This kind of cultivation shocked Qin Fen. After all, the two of them looked to be in their 30s. To be able to reach Nihility God Realm Intermediate stage at this age, they were considered top geniuses in the entire South Flat Continent. It's not that I always stand on the side of human cultivators. It's that you always find trouble with human cultivators for no reason. You are tarnishing the name of our beast cultivator race. Qi Longxing stood in front of Qin Fen, looking like he wanted to protect him. This action made Qin Fen roll his eyes in secret. Although the third prince was at Nihility God Realm Level 4, Qin Fen was confident that he could kill him instantly. However, Qin Fen didn't act rashly. After all, Green Island was the territory of beast cultivators. It was better for him to keep a low profile. "Qi Longxing, you still have the cheek to criticize the third prince? As the 8th son of the island master of North Ring 3 Islands, you help human cultivators every day. You are the one who has embarrassed our beast cultivator race. If it wasn't for your identity, I would have killed you long ago. Today, that human ant must die. If you dare to stop us, don't blame us for being impolite." The three old fellas beside the third prince were enraged. They were the hidden experts. Qin Fen had checked the realms of the three old fellas. Two of them were body condensation realm late stage. He couldn't see through the last one, but he was definitely at Ekayana tripod realm. However, Qi Longxing didn't seem to be afraid of the three old fellas. He even scolded them. "Who do you think you are? How dare you speak to me like this? If my father hears about this, you won't even know how you died." The three old fellas' faces were red with anger, but they didn't refute. The white dragon said angrily, "Qi Longxing, do you dare to fight to the death with me?" Qi Longxing hesitated. He obviously knew that the white dragon was at Nihility God Realm Level 4. However, in the end, he still said, "Let's fight." "Do you think I'm afraid of you?" As soon as he accepted the challenge, he immediately transmitted his voice to Qin Fen. "Brother, when the life and death battle starts, take the opportunity to escape. Run towards the direction of the 80-kilometer city. As long as you leave the boundary of Grey Island, those three old men won't dare to chase after you." Qin Fen was slightly stunned. He didn't expect the young demonic cultivator to be so kind. He could even guess that the reason why he accepted the White Dragon's challenge was to give him a chance to escape. Because of Qi Longxing's appearance, Qin Fen started to redefine demonic cultivators. He realized that demonic cultivators were the same as human cultivators. There were good and bad people. "You're not his match," Qin Fen said without transmitting his voice. He knew that in front of the three old fellas, transmitting his voice was useless. Qi Longxing seemed to have realized this as well. He said, "Just do as I say. This is your only chance to live. If I escape, won't you die here?" Qin Fen couldn't understand Qi Longxing's thoughts. He was a demonic cultivator, but he was willing to sacrifice himself to help human cultivators.
"Don't worry about me.
I'm the 8th son of the island master of the 3 northern islands. They won't dare to kill me. Otherwise, the 3 northern islands will start a war with the Nanming Temple," Qi Longxing said confidently. Qin Fen had already figured out these people's identities. Qi Longxing was the 8th son of the island master of the 3 northern islands, and the horned third prince was the 3rd son of the Nanming Temple's palace master. Qin Fen didn't know why his luck was so good. He had just stepped into Green Island, and he already met 2 demonic cultivators with such powerful backgrounds. If he wanted to read, he would search for Book Flag. Chapter 1984. Qin Fin suddenly understood why Qi Longxing and Bai Jiao had such heaven-defying cultivations. At first, he suspected that the two of them had eaten some kind of beautifying pill. Now, it seemed that they were indeed only 30 years old, or maybe even younger. As the sons of the three leaders of Grey Island, they definitely didn't have to worry about cultivation resources since they were young. Plus, the bloodline of Yao cultivators was naturally stronger than that of human cultivators, so their cultivation speed was naturally fast. When Bai Jiao and the other three heard Qi Longxing's plan, their faces darkened with anger. They knew that this was the entrance to Grey Island. If that human ant did as Qi Longxing said, unless they could kill him instantly, they really wouldn't be able to do anything to him once he escaped from Grey Island. Qi Longxing, you are the scum of the Yao race. Today, I will kill you for the sake of the entire Yao race. Bai Jiao transferred all his anger to Qi Longxing. Qin Fin could see the murderous intent in his eyes. He really wanted to kill Qi Longxing. Humph. You want to kill me? Be careful that I kill you instead. Qi Longxing didn't back down. Seeing that the two were about to attack, Qin Fin suddenly said, Brother Qi, why don't I fight him to the death? Everyone was stunned and looked at Qin Fin in astonishment. Before Qi Longxing could come back to his senses and persuade him, Bai Jiao had already raised his head and laughed wildly. Ha ha ha. You really are a reckless human ant. You dare to challenge me? Do you believe that I can kill you with one spear? Qi Longxing also came back to his senses and immediately advised, Brother, even though we are of the same realm, we Yao cultivators are naturally stronger than you human cultivators. Plus, Bai Jiao has already stepped into Nihility God Realm Level 4 and is being nurtured by Nanming Palace. You are definitely not his opponent. After Qin Fin killed Mu Feng not long ago, he didn't intentionally hide his cultivation level anymore. Right now, he was at Nihility God Realm Level 3. Since Brother Qi is willing to stand up for a human cultivator that I don't know, how can I escape alone?
Why don't I fight with that guy?
Maybe a miracle will happen, and I'll be able to kill him. Qin Fin pretended to know that he was no match for the White Jiao, and his words moved Qi Longxing greatly. I still don't know your name, brother. I appreciate your kind intentions, but you should leave quickly. We'll meet again if fate wills it. After that, he shouted at Bai Jiao and the other three righteously. See? What's wrong with human cultivators? They are loyal and don't fear death. Let me ask you three old farts. Do you dare to sacrifice your lives for the white flood dragon? The three old demon cultivators were speechless. Brother Qi, my name is Qin Fin. You can just call me Brother Qin. I won't change my decision. Let me fight that horn monster, Qin Fin said. Horn monster. The white flood dragon almost vomited blood. He glared at Qin Feng and roared, You human ant, I'm going to destroy you. Before he could attack with the crimson halberd, Qin Feng quickly said, Wait, there are some things I need to confirm before we fight. The white serpent had no choice but to stop attacking. He could ignore Qin Feng, but he couldn't ignore Qi Longxing's existence. You talk too much. Hurry up and say your last words. The white flood dragon was extremely impatient. Qin Feng said, We're going to fight to the death, right? Nonsense. Can't you ask something more meaningful? The white flood dragon scolded. Qin Feng didn't care. Since it's a fight to the death, someone will definitely die. If I accidentally kill you, what if those three old farts attack me? Also, you have a high status. If I kill you, what if the Nanming Temple comes to take revenge on me? Qin Feng wasn't afraid of the white flood dragon. He could kill an opponent of this level in seconds. However, he couldn't ignore the existence of the Nanming Temple. This was one of the three major areas of Grey Island. The White Flood Dragon's three bodyguards had reached the body condensation stage, and even the cauldron-filling realm. Who knew what realm the Nanming Temple's leader was at? Ha! You're so funny. You want to kill me? Stop daydreaming. Since I'm going to die in your eyes, then what's the point of this fight to the death? I'll withdraw, Qin Feng said indifferently. The White Flood Dragon instantly panicked. If Qin Feng didn't fight him, he would definitely run away. Okay, I promise you if you can kill me, My 3 bodyguards won't bother you, and the Nanming Temple won't hunt you down. But I'll say it again. You want to kill me? Stop daydreaming. Qin Feng didn't care about the White Flood Dragon's arrogant attitude. What he wanted was this guy's promise. Brother Qi, then how about you be the notary? Qi Longxing revealed a difficult expression. It wasn't because of the notary, but because he didn't think Qin Feng would win. In his opinion, if Qin Feng accepted the challenge, he would definitely die. Brother Qin, I advise you to leave this place. Although you're at the Hollow God Realm Level 3 at such a young age and must be a top genius among human cultivators, Grey Island is the territory of demon cultivators. Moreover, the geniuses of demon cultivators are definitely more outstanding than you humans. Don't come here in the future. I appreciate Brother Qi's good intentions, but I won't back down. Please be the notary, Brother Qi. Qin Feng's expression was firm. Qi Longxing saw that Qin Feng had made up his mind and didn't continue to persuade him. He waved his hand and took out a crystal ball the size of a basketball. White Flood Dragon, repeat the promise you made just now, Qi Longxing said to the White Flood Dragon. The White Flood Dragon's face paled when he saw the crystal ball. This was a recording crystal unique to the fallen god Sea. It could record images and sounds. Humph. I, Bai Jiao, have always been a man of my words. Is there a need for you to take out this kind of lousy thing? If that human ant can kill me, I guarantee that my 3 protectors will not pursue his responsibility, and our Nanming Palace will not cause trouble for him. Qi Longxing nodded at Qin Feng and put away the crystal ball. He even reminded Qin Feng, Brother Qin, be careful. If you really can't beat him, run away immediately. Since the agreement was made, the White Flood Dragon could no longer suppress the anger in his heart. He stabbed his fiery red halberd towards Qin Feng.
Boom.
The halberd brought with it a sea of flames as it flew towards Qin Feng. The fire was so ferocious that it burned the surrounding air into an illusion. However, Qin Feng didn't retreat in the face of such a fierce beast fire. He even took a step forward, and his body was submerged in the sea of fire. The two's attacks came too abruptly. When Qi Longxing regained his senses, he immediately panicked and shouted at the sea of fire, Brother Qin, run. That's the White Serpent's own beast fire. You won't be able to block it. After he shouted, he felt despair. He saw Qin Feng rush into the sea of fire. He was dead for sure. The 3 old men who followed the White Flood Dragon smiled playfully. They thought that Qin Feng was at least at Hollow God Realm Level 3. Even if he was killed by the White Flood Dragon 3rd Prince, it would take him some time. They didn't expect him to be so weak. Human cultivators were indeed useless. However, their excitement didn't last for long. The smiles on their faces froze. A violent explosion came from the sea of fire, followed by a scream. However, the scream didn't come from Qin Feng. It was clearly the White Flood Dragon's roar. The scream was so miserable that it made people's hair stand on end. The cauldron-filling stage beast cultivator quickly woke up and rushed into the sea of fire. How dare you! He let out a strange cry, and then another loud explosion came from the sea of fire. Qin Feng suddenly leaped out from the sea of fire and landed beside Qi Longxing. The old man in the filling cauldron realm also flew over, his eyes bloodshot. Brother Vashi, what's going on? The other 2 body condensation state elders realized that something was wrong and immediately rushed over to Qin Feng. Vashi's true body floated in the air. As his aura rose, his body expanded until he turned into a green flood dragon. He opened his mouth as if he was going to swallow half the sky. Ayaya, this damn human ant. He actually killed the 3rd prince.
What?
The 2 body condensation state elders were shocked. They immediately looked towards the sea of fire. The flames had dissipated, and only a piece of charred land was left. There wasn't even a speck of dust on the ground. Where's the 3rd prince? Was he really killed by that ant? The 2 seemed to be muttering to themselves. Not only the 3 of them, even Qi Longxing was stunned. Not long ago, he was still worried about Qin Feng's safety. Never would he have thought that Qin Feng would be able to kill the Hollow God Realm Level 4 White Flood Dragon. Vashi, what do you want? Qi Longxing quickly came to his senses and immediately stood in front of Qin Feng. Vasi's Jinqi was so strong that he revealed his true form. His roar shook the earth, mountains, and rivers. Qi Longxing, get out of my way, or I'll kill you as well. Facing a cauldron-filling stage expert, Qi Longxing instantly lost his confidence. However, he didn't back down. He pretended to be calm and shouted at the sky, Vashi, don't think that you're so great just because you're at the cauldron-filling stage. There are countless cauldron-filling stage experts in the 3 islands. My father is a disaster transformation state Snake King. Aren't you afraid of their revenge? Vashi's intimidating aura faded a lot. It was obvious that she was shocked by Qi Longxing's words. Even Qin Feng was shocked. The power of Green Island was much stronger than he imagined. The island masters of the 3 islands were all disaster transformation state experts. From this, it could be seen that the leaders of Nanming Palace and East Dragon Palace weren't weak either. Don't use the Black Snake King to scare me. That human ant dared to kill the 3rd prince. Today, I must kill him. If you dare to stop me, even if I accidentally kill you, I believe the Black Snake King can't do anything to me. Qi Longxing was extremely nervous. He knew that Qin Feng had created a huge disaster. Just as Vashizan had said, now that the 3rd prince was dead, if he still insisted on protecting Qin Feng, even if he was killed by Vashizan, it would be in vain. However, at this critical moment, Qi Longxing's eyes lit up and he immediately took out the crystal ball. At this moment, he finally understood Qin Feng's intentions. No wonder Qin Feng made the White Flood Dragon promise that he wouldn't be held responsible if he died. Qin Feng had already predicted that the White Flood Dragon would die. For a moment, Qi Longxing couldn't understand. Qin Feng was only a Hollow God Realm Level 3 human cultivator. How did he have the confidence to kill the Hollow God Realm Level 4 White Flood Dragon? Even Qi Longxing didn't have this confidence. Chapter 1985. Vashi, you can't kill Qin Feng. White Serpent had a battle of life and death with him. Life and death are up to fate. I still have the promise White Serpent made before the battle. Do you want to see it again? Qi Longxing immediately shouted. Vashi's face darkened. He didn't want to see the scene recorded on the crystal ball. He wanted to smash the crystal ball. But he knew it was useless even if he did. This crystal was similar to human cultivators' flying swords. Not only did it have the ability to record information, it could also be transmitted to other beast cultivators of the same race. As the 8th son of the Black Serpent King, the recording crystal Qi Longxing used was even more advanced. The scene he recorded could be transmitted to the crystal balls of the Black Serpent King and the protectors of the 3 northern islands. If Vashi killed him now, he would immediately be discovered by the forces of the 3 northern islands. Vashi, White Serpent is already dead and can't be revived. I advise you to quickly return to Nanming Palace and beg for forgiveness. Maybe you'll be treated leniently by the White Serpent King. Staying here is just a waste of time. Seeing that Vashi didn't make a move, Qi Longxing realized that he was afraid. Vashi spat out a mouthful of blood. He was so angry that he vomited blood. It was as if blood rain fell from the sky. The air was filled with the fishy smell of seawater. Vashi floated in the sky and looked deeply at Qin Feng before turning into a green light and disappearing into the distance. After he left, the other 2 body condensation state tertiary stage elders also left. Qi Longxing let out a long sigh of relief and sat down on the ground like a deflated balloon. Phew! I was scared to death. Brother Qin, it can be said that we've escaped with our lives. Not only was Qi Longxing scared, but Qin Feng was also uneasy. The other party was a cauldron-filling state and 2 body condensation state tertiary stage beast cultivators. Any one of them could kill him instantly. Brother Qi, I really have to thank you this time. Qin Feng cupped his fists. Qi Longxing sat on the ground, a nonchalant expression on his face as he waved his hand and said, Brother Qin, you're being too courteous. We've gone through life and death together, so we can be considered good brothers from now on. That's right, Brother Qin, do you think my name is cool? Qi Long's thoughts changed too quickly for Qin Feng to keep up. What do you mean, Brother Chi? That's my name. We monster cultivators have two names. One is the name of a monster beast, and the other is the name of a human cultivator. Since the Divine Supreme Continent is dominated by human cultivators, monster cultivators usually use the name of a human cultivator. Qinfen understood, and black lines appeared on his forehead. He did not dare to comment on the human name Qi Longxing. It's pretty good. Qin Feng didn't want to hurt the other party's feelings. Qi Longxing immediately looked excited and shouted excitedly, "Really? I was the one who came up with this name. In the past, my father gave me the name Qin Xianfeng. I thought it was very unpleasant, so I changed it to Qi Longxing. I knew that this name was more in line with the aesthetics of you human cultivators." Qin Feng. Qi Longxing was very happy and chattered on. Actually, if you want to talk about the coolest name among the Yao cultivators, I think it's still that Bashan who was angered to the point of vomiting blood just now. His name is really nice. It's a pity he took it first. Qin Feng. Brother Qin, why aren't you saying anything? Qi Longxing finally realized that Qin Feng had not replied to him for a long time. What's your monster beast's name? Qin Feng was curious. It's very long, I almost forgot. Qi Longxing looked like he was trying hard to remember. After a while, he continued, "Li Sisi Go Wa Taiju Mi Yubo." All right, I got it. Qin Feng rolled his eyes. Qi Longxing said, "You got it? I've only said less than 1/10 of it." Qin Feng. In that case, your human name is really nice. Qin Feng could not express what he was feeling at that moment. Qi Longxing finally avoided the topic of names, which made Qin Feng heave a long sigh of relief. This eighth son of the Black Snake King was definitely a chatterbox. He had just met Qin Feng, but he already had endless things to say. Qin Feng did not interrupt him and quietly listened to him talk about his life experiences. It turned out that when Qi Longxing was 5 years old, he was cultivating by the sea one day. He was chased by other demon cultivators and almost lost his life at a young age. In the end, a human cultivator appeared and saved him. This incident had a great impact on Qi Longxing, causing him to develop a good impression of human cultivators from a young age. From then on, he started to make friends with human cultivators and help each other out. Brother Qin, did you have any demon cultivator friends before me? Qi Longxing suddenly became serious. Qin Feng nodded and said, "I have many demon cultivator friends. We're very close. Actually, there are good and bad people among you beasts. Just like us human cultivators, there are also good and bad people." Qi Longxing was extremely excited, as if he had found a confidant. "Brother Qin, you're too kind. I really regret not having met you earlier. I've told this to the other Yao cultivators long ago, but not only did they not agree with me, they even called me a traitor and scum of the Yao cultivator race. I really don't understand. Why can't human cultivators and demon cultivators coexist peacefully? Could it be that we were born enemies?" When Qi Longxing became excited, he would raise his arms and shout loudly. His hot-blooded and high-spirited emotions infected Qin Feng. "Brother Qi, you're right. They're just too narrow-minded and can't reach your height," Qin Feng encouraged him. Qi Longxing nodded vigorously. "Oh, right, Brother Qin, do you have a dream?" Qin Feng was stunned. Ever since he came to the Divine Continent, no one had asked him this question. "I have a dream. I hope to return to my hometown as soon as possible." The scenery of Acropolis City with green mountains and clear waters appeared in Qin Feng's mind. "I also have a dream. My dream is to lead the beast race and reach a treaty of peaceful coexistence with human cultivators." Qi Longxing's eyes shone brightly. His unswerving conviction touched Qin Feng's heart. He patted Qi Longxing's shoulder and said, "I believe that one day you'll achieve your dream." The two youths, who were not even 30 years old, stood at the entrance of Song Island and talked. Their dreams were extremely grand, and in the eyes of others, they were impossible. Sometimes dreams were like this. They weren't meant to be realized. Instead, they were meant to motivate oneself to move forward. "Brother Qin, it's getting late. You should leave Song Island," Qi Longxing suddenly said. Qin Feng understood what he was thinking. Even though the White Jiao Third Prince promised that Nanming Temple wouldn't trouble him before he died, only a fool would believe his words. However, since he had come to Tsong Island, Qin Feng wouldn't retreat because of this little threat. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to mingle in the Divine Continent anymore. I have important matters to attend to on Tsong Island. I can't leave for now. This time, I've implicated Brother Qi. We'll meet again someday. Qin Feng cupped his fists and prepared to leave. Qi Longxing immediately caught up to him and said, Brother Qin, you're not treating me as a friend. I know you're afraid that Nanming Temple will vent their anger on me, but since I dare to help you, I'm not afraid that Nanming Temple will cause trouble for me. Not to mention, I've already formed a grudge with Nanming Temple before this, so this time won't make a difference. Qin Feng's impression of Qi Longxing was getting better and better. This beast cultivator had completely subverted his view of the beast clan. Qi Longxing's character had even surpassed many human cultivators. Brother Qin, don't say any more. Come with me to the 3 Northern Ring Islands. That's my father, the Black Snake King's territory. Other beast cultivators wouldn't dare to mess around there. Qi Longxing pulled Qin Feng away after he finished speaking. The two of them flew towards the depths of Tsong Island. The fishy smell of seawater and beast cultivators in the air became heavier. On the island and the beach, they could see many beast cultivators coming and going. These beast cultivators' strength varied. Some were in human form, while some were half human and half beast. Most of them were in the form of beasts. Along the way, Qi Longxing took the initiative to introduce Tsong Island and the beast cultivators to Qin Feng. Just like what Qin Feng had heard before he arrived, Tsong Island was divided into 3 major areas: 3 Northern Ring Islands, Nanming Temple, and East Dragon Palace. These 3 areas were about the same size, and they each had their own camps. The 3 Northern Ring Islands were ruled by Qi Longxing's father, the Black Snake King. Their family had the orthodox rank 9 Black Snake bloodline. The Nanming Temple was the White Flood Dragon King's territory and had the rank 9 White Flood Dragon bloodline. Lastly, the East Dragon Palace was more mysterious. Normally, it was rare to see beast cultivators from the East Dragon Palace on Tsong Island. However, it was rumored that the leader of the East Dragon Palace had the true dragon bloodline that only appeared in ancient times. Qi Longxing's flying magic treasure was a pinwheel-shaped low-grade true artifact. This kind of flying ship was considered a top-grade treasure in the South Pingzhou continent. However, compared to Qin Feng's flying Cloud All, which was comparable to a high-grade true artifact, it was still lacking. However, Qin Feng didn't take out the flying Cloud All, mainly because he didn't want to attract unnecessary trouble. Moreover, Qi Longxing's flying ship was clearly his trademark. Along the way, they encountered many body condensation and even cauldron-filling realm beasts, but none dared to rob or stop this flying ship. The flying ship flew at top speed for 5 days and 5 nights before reaching the entrance of the 3 Northern Ring Islands. This showed how vast Tsong Island was. As soon as they entered the 3 Northern Ring Islands, Qi Longxing let out a long sigh of relief.
Phew.
We're finally home. Brother Qin, we're completely safe now. Qin Feng looked down at the sea below him from the sky. He immediately understood how the 3 Northern Ring Islands got their name. This area was formed by a total of 3 giant islands. The islands were connected by a long wooden bridge made of iron chains. Brother Qin, do you see the bridge connecting the 3 islands? It's said that it's a bridge that has existed since ancient times and connects the 3 Northern Ring Islands. There's a flight restriction array on the bridge. That array was also passed down from ancient times. In the past, my father found many array masters to break the flight restriction array on the bridge. This way, our clansmen could easily fly across the 3 Northern Ring Islands instead of walking on the bridge. What was the result? Qin Feng was interested in the array on the bridge. If it was really an ancient array, he could go and study it. It would be of great help to improve his array skills. No one in the South Pingzhou continent could break the flight restriction array on the bridge. Even the sect leader of the All-Array sect couldn't do anything. Later on, My father gathered all the hollow god and above beasts in the clan and tried to break the array on the bridge. However, hundreds of powerful cultivators attacked for 3 days and 3 nights, and the array showed no signs of weakening. Chapter 1986. Qin Fan was stunned by Qi Longxing's words. He had already tried his best to overestimate the overall strength of Grey Island, but he realized that he had still underestimated it. According to Qi Longxing, there were hundreds of Void God Realm and above cultivators in the 3 northern islands. That meant that the entire Grey Island had at least 1,000. And this was just a conservative estimate. After all, some of the truly powerful cultivators were usually elusive. If such a powerful force suddenly attacked the South Pingzhou continent, it would definitely be a disaster. Qin Fan recalled the catastrophe of the Beast clan that Barefoot Spiritual Master had mentioned. It was said that the Beast Tide had invaded the 4 continents and almost dominated the continent. Qin Fan was starting to believe that was true. When he came to his senses again, Qi Longxing had already landed the flying ship. As soon as he got off the flying ship, a strong sea breeze hit his nose. "Brother Qin, we're home. You're safe now." Qi Longxing was extremely excited. It seemed that he valued Qin Fan's life more than his own. Qin Fan was grateful. He cupped his fists and said, "Thank you for your help, Brother Qi. Otherwise, I'm afraid I would have died at the border of Grey Island. We're already good brothers. Brother Qin, you don't have to be so polite with me." The two of them chatted as they walked towards a bridge. According to Qi Longxing, they had to cross this bridge and go to the cave abode that he and his mother lived in. There was a flight restriction formation on the bridge of the 3 northern islands. Flying immortal tools couldn't pass through.
Yo.
"Isn't this the scum of our Black Snake clan, Qi Longxing? Why did you bring a human ant back?" Qin Fan had just walked to the side of the bridge when he heard a mocking voice behind him. He saw Qi Longxing's expression immediately turn cold. He turned around and yelled at the person, "Bourgeois, I don't need you to say anything. Please recognize your identity first." A total of 4 people flew over. The middle-aged man who landed first was Bourgeois. Behind him were 3 older demonic cultivators. As soon as Bourgeois landed, his expression turned cold, as if someone had touched his reverse scale. "Qi Longxing, say that again, if you dare. Everything I said is the truth. You're just a son of the harem. How can you compare to my identity as the son of the main wife?" Qi Longxing didn't back down. Qin Fan did not know much about demon cultivators, so he could not understand the conversation between Qi Longxing and Baji at all. It turned out that the leaders of the Yao cultivator clan would have many female cultivator companions. These companions were divided into human women and Yao cultivator women. However, human women had an extremely low status in their clan, and the children they gave birth to also had a low status. Octopus was the offspring of the union between the Black Snake King and a human woman. He was known as the child of the harem. Qi Longxing's mother was a demon cultivator, so he was the son of the main wife. Based on Qi Longxing's personality, who was willing to befriend even human cultivators, he naturally did not care that the Empress was the son of the harem. However, he knew very well how narrow-minded Baji was. Therefore, Qi Longxing did not show the slightest bit of mercy when dealing with such a vicious and cunning person. Every son of the harem would feel inferior because of their status, and Octagon Li was no exception. At this time, he was so angry that his eyes were about to pop out of their sockets, but in the end, he did not make a move. "Qi Longxing, one day, I will make all of you regret this." Octagon Li said some strange words. Without waiting for Qi Longxing to speak again, he suddenly looked at Qin Fan with a playful expression and said, "This human cultivator looks a little familiar. Guardians, is this the human ant you are looking for?" The 3 elders behind Octagon Li locked their divine senses on Qin Fan. Immediately, a violent surge of vital essence surged from their bodies. They were actually 3 mighty figures in the mid-stage of the body condensation realm. One of them roared angrily, "It's this human ant who dared to kill the 3rd prince of the Nanming Temple. I want you to die a horrible death." As soon as he finished speaking, a huge vital essence hand floated in the air and descended with an unstoppable momentum. Qi Longxing's expression changed drastically. He actually rushed into the air at the first instant, trying to block the other party's attack. Stop right now. This is the territory of the 3 northern islands. It's not up to the people of the Nanming Temple to behave atrociously here. Qi Longxing felt that he was instantly surrounded by the aura of death and immediately shouted. The expression of the mighty figure in the body condensation realm who attacked changed, and he hurriedly changed his hand gesture. The originally ferocious palm landed on the empty ground behind Qi Longxing and Qin Fen, blasting a huge pit. Rumble. Loud explosions rang out one after another. It was clear that this palm contained a ferocious, vital essence aura. Qi Longxing heaved a sigh of relief after landing on the ground. He felt that if the other party had been even half a second late, he would have died. Qi Longxing, do you know what you're doing? Octagon Li roared angrily. Qi Longxing's expression became even colder. I still have to ask you, you bastard, what the hell are you doing? As the demonic cultivator race of the 3 northern islands, you are actually entangled with the forces of the Nanming Temple. You even brought the 3 body condensation realm experts of the Nanming Temple here. Are you trying to rebel? A hint of panic flashed through Octagon Li's eyes, but he quickly regained his composure. He said, Don't slander me. The reason I brought the 3 guardians of the Nanming Temple here is because the human ant beside you killed the 3rd prince of the Nanming Temple not long ago. You still dare to bring such an evil person back to the 3 northern islands. Aren't you causing trouble for the demonic cultivators of our race? I think you are the one who wants to rebel. The 2 sons of the Black Snake King quarreled endlessly. Qin Fen and the 3 old men from the Nanming Temple could only watch. The palm just now didn't kill Qin Fen instantly, so the 3 guardians of the Nanming Temple didn't dare to act rashly anymore. This was the territory of the 3 northern islands. They had already broken the rules by trespassing. Just as the 3 of them were worried, several black shadows flew over from the distance. Those black shadows were still far away in the sky, but a few seconds later, they had already appeared above Qin Fen and the others' heads. 5 bright light shadows floated like 5 dazzling suns. Qin Fen immediately used his divine sense to scan them. He found that 3 of them had stepped into the late stage of the body condensation realm. The other 2 had strong auras, but he couldn't tell what they were. He estimated that they were already at the cauldron-filling state. What's going on here? Why did the demonic cultivators of the Nanming Temple appear? One of the 5 people spoke. Seeing these 5 people, Octagon Li and Qi Longxing, who had been quarreling non-stop, stopped. Qi Longxing cupped his fists and said, greets the 5 uncles. It was Octagon Li who brought the 3 guardians of the Nanming Temple here. I hope the 5 uncles will uphold justice. 5 powerful divine senses landed on Octagon Li, causing him to tremble uncontrollably. 5 uncles, please listen to me. I didn't intentionally bring the guardians of the Nanming Temple into the 3 northern islands. That human cultivator killed the White Dragon King's 3rd son. Now, the entire Nanming Temple is hunting this person. In the end, Qi Longxing actually brought this person into our territory. Isn't he causing trouble for us? The expressions of the 5 people in the sky changed. The voice from before sounded again. Nonsense. This is the territory of the 3 northern islands. No matter what the reason is, the demonic cultivators of the Nanming Temple are not allowed to enter without permission. Moreover, the 3 of you dared to fight here. Why aren't you leaving now? Are you planning to stay here forever? The 3 arrogant demonic cultivators at the body condensation stage immediately became listless. They had been blinded by the 3rd Highness Death aura. Otherwise, how could they have trespassed into the 3 northern islands? It's our fault for trespassing into the 3 northern islands without notifying you. Please forgive us, seniors, but before we leave, please hand over that human ant to us so that we can return and report to the White Dragon King, one of the Nanming Temple protectors said. The 5 demonic cultivators in the sky could not be bothered with Qin Fen's life or death. They did not express their stance. This was a tacit agreement. However, before the Nanming temple protectors could make a move, Qi Longxing immediately shouted, "Five uncles, we definitely can't let them take Qinfen away. If they take him away, where will the dignity of the three northern islands be?" When that happens, the demonic cultivators around Grey Island will say that the three northern islands are afraid of the Nanming Temple. They will say that the Nanming Temple only sent 3 demonic cultivators at the body condensation stage, and that the 3 northern islands were so scared that they didn't dare to speak. They could only watch as the other party behaved atrociously and took away cultivators at will. The faces of Octagon Li and the 3 Nanming Temple protectors darkened. They secretly shot several murderous looks at Qi Longxing. The expressions of the 5 demonic cultivators in the sky changed. In the end, one of them said, "I'll give the 3 of you the time it takes for half an incense stick to burn. If you don't leave the 3 northern islands within that time, you will be killed." The 3 Nanming Temple protectors were unwilling, but they did not dare to stay for a moment longer. The 3 of them immediately stepped on their flying swords and disappeared into the distance. They did not even dare to leave behind any harsh words. "Qi Longxing, you traitor of our clan. Sooner or later, our Black Snake clan will be destroyed in your hands." Octagon Li cursed angrily. Then, he leaped up and quickly disappeared into the sky. The 5 great demonic cultivators in the sky had not left yet. A voice came from the sky. "Qi Longxing, this is the last time. If I see you bring back human cultivators again, I will send a request to the Black Snake King to expel you from the Black Snake clan. As for that human cultivator, make him leave the 3 northern islands as soon as possible." The voice was still floating in the sky, but at some point, the 5 dazzling lights had already disappeared. Qi Longxing heaved a long sigh of relief. A layer of cold sweat appeared on his forehead. It was clear that his calmness earlier was all an act. "Brother Qi, I won't say any more words of gratitude. If you need any help in the future, just let me know." Qinfen realized that Qi Longxing was not only a scum in the eyes of the demonic cultivators of the Nanming Temple, but he did not expect that he would also be looked down upon by the demonic cultivators of the Black Snake clan in the 3 northern islands. Qinfen suddenly felt some sympathy for him. He even felt that Qi Longxing had been reincarnated into the wrong body. This feeling was like a sheep encouraging its own sheep to befriend a wolf every day. However, the 2 of them were born to be enemies. Qi Longxing waved his hand. He did not seem to be in the mood to talk. He took the lead and walked toward the sky bridge. "Let's go and see my mother first." As soon as Qinfen stepped onto the sky bridge, he felt a very obscure aura of a formation. This aura was old and strong. It was very similar to some of the great ancient formations he had encountered before. As a rank 5 spiritual formation master, discovering the great ancient formations was very important to Qinfen. He could not wait to immediately sit cross-legged on the sky bridge and start studying the formations here. However, in the end, he gave up on this idea. At the end of the day, this was still the territory of the 3 northern islands. Right now, he was completely under Qi Longxing's protection. Qi Longxing's status and reputation here was not good. Qinfen did not want to cause him any more trouble. Chapter 1987. Brother Qi, why do I suddenly feel that the spirit Qi is much denser after crossing this bridge? Qinfen asked curiously. The 2 of them had just crossed the bridge. When they walked on the bridge, their divine senses couldn't reach the end. They didn't know how long they had walked, but they suddenly reached the end. The spiritual Qi on both sides of the bridge had undergone a huge change, and the environment was also very different. Qi Longxing seemed to be used to this change and explained, "Brother Qin, it's not just this bridge. The other 2 bridges are also in the same situation. The 3 northern islands are separated by 3 bridges, and the climate and environment on each island are very different. As for the reason behind this, even my father doesn't know." Qinfen had previously guessed that this bridge not only had a flight restriction formation, but also a teleportation formation. After hearing Qi Longxing's words, he was even more convinced of his guess. Other than a teleportation formation, Qin Fen couldn't think of any other reason that would cause the environment on both sides of the bridge to be so different. Not only did he guess that there was a teleportation formation on the bridge, but he also felt that the distance of this teleportation formation was definitely not short. According to the knowledge of Qi Longxing and the other demonic cultivators, the three islands that were connected to each other were very likely to be three independent islands separated by tens of thousands of li. Qin Fen could not imagine how Qi Longxing would feel if he knew his speculation. In the end, Qin Fen didn't say this. After all, this was only a guess. He planned to say it after he completely understood it. After crossing the bridge, the flight restriction formation disappeared. The two of them sat on Qi Longxing's flying ship and arrived at a valley. Brother Qin, this heavenly water cave is where my mother and I live. Because my father has a lot of wives and concubines, he usually doesn't come here. Qi Longxing explained as he walked towards the cave. Qi Longxing's mother was one of the Black Snake King's wives, but there wasn't even a guard outside the cave. This showed that the status of these wives was also very ordinary, not to mention the status of the harem. However, the cave had been renovated. There was a row of luminous pearls embedded in the rock walls, and a row of low-grade spirit herbs planted in the corners. Moreover, as soon as Qin Fen walked into the cave, he felt the aura of a formation. It was a grade 4 spirit gathering formation. Mother, how has your body been recently? When he reached the end of the cave, he saw a large circular cave. In the corner of the cave was a jade bed, on which lay a demonic cultivator with a human body and the tail of a snake. That female Taoist was Qi Longxing's mother. At this moment, she was sprawled on the jade bed without getting up. She looked to be in her early 30s and was a peerless beauty. However, her face was as pale as paper and her aura was extremely weak. Qi, are you back? Is that your friend? Qin Fen immediately stepped forward, cupped his hands, and said, Junior Qin Fen greets Senior. Qi Longxing introduced. Brother Qin, this is my mother. Her name is Yu Jiao. Mother, Qin Feng is a human friend I just met. Perhaps it was because Qi Longxing often brought human friends back, but Yu Jiao did not show any unusual expression when she saw Qin Feng. Instead, she smiled amiably and nodded at him. Brother Qi, is your mother's divine knowledge severely damaged? Qin Fen suddenly asked. Qi Longxing and Yu Jiao's expressions changed drastically as they stared at Qin Feng in disbelief. Qi Longxing cried out in surprise, Brother Qin, how did you know? My mother was already at the peak of the body condensation realm before she was injured. There's no way you could see through her divine knowledge Yu Jiao was even more shocked than Qi Longxing because she had already seen through Qin Feng's cultivation. He had just stepped into the empty god realm level 3. She did not believe that Qin Feng could see through her divine knowledge Indeed, Qin Fen did not use his divine sense to check Yu Jiao's divine sense That kind of behavior was very disrespectful. On the divine supreme continent, low-level cultivators were killed because they used their divine sense to scan high-level cultivators. Moreover, even if Qin Feng's divine knowledge was much stronger than cultivators of the same level, his divine knowledge was only as strong as an early-stage body condensation realm cultivator. On the other hand, Yu Jiao's cultivation was at the peak of the body condensation realm. Qin Feng could not see through her divine knowledge even if he wanted to. Brother Qi, you've misunderstood me. Of course, I can't see through your mother's divine knowledge Moreover, I would not do such disrespectful things. It's just that your mother's face is pale and her aura is weak. She does not have any obvious external injuries, so she most likely suffered a serious internal injury. Moreover, Senior Yu Jiao has been staying in the Heavenly Water Cave abode for a long time. No one would dare to hurt her here. This means that Senior has been injured for a long time and is unable to recover. This can only mean that her divine knowledge is injured. Qi Longxing and Yu Jiao stared at Qin Feng with their eyes wide open. His analysis was so logical and meticulous that it was terrifying. Brother Qin, you're really amazing. You're right. Mother's divine knowledge is indeed severely injured. Qi Longxing's mood instantly sank at the mention of his mother's illness. There are no elixirs in the entire South Flat Continent that can heal the Divine Knowledge Sea. It's said that the West Sea Continent and the East Field Continent have such elixirs. Unfortunately, I'm only at the Hollow God realm now. Mother won't let me cross the Divine Fall Sea to those two continents. I can only cultivate hard and wait until the day I step into the disaster transformation realm before I can travel far. Yu Jiao forced herself to sit on the jade bed and patted Qi Longxing's head. She smiled and said, "Silly child, the West Sea Continent and the East Field Continent might not have elixirs that can heal the Divine Knowledge Sea. Moreover, even if you step into the disaster transformation realm, Mother won't let you take the risk." It's said that only true form realm cultivators can barely survive in the depths of the Divine Fall Sea. Qin Feng was speechless. He had only heard of true form realm cultivators but had never seen one. He had not even seen a disaster transformation realm cultivator. He had only seen some cauldron-filling realm cultivators. However, crossing the Divine Fall Sea required at least a true form realm cultivator. Moreover, true form realm cultivators were only at the bottom of the Divine Fall Sea. This rumor made Qin Feng suspicious. "Mother, those are just rumors. Even the East Field Continent, the most prosperous cultivation continent in the Divine Honor Continent, how many true form realm cultivators are there? If even true form realm cultivators die in the depths of the Divine Fall Sea, then I'm afraid there are no more true form realm cultivators in the Divine Honor Continent," Qi Longxing said. Yu Jiao shook her head and said, "The Divine Honor Continent's heritage is far beyond your imagination. It's said that tens of thousands of years ago was the peak of the continent's spiritual energy. There were countless void spirit realm cultivators and body condensation realm cultivators. Cauldron-filling realm and disaster transformation realm cultivators had just entered the divine realm. True form realm cultivators were only considered ordinary cultivators. There were countless true god realm cultivators. Many cultivators on the Divine Honor Continent had heard of this rumor, but they were still skeptical about its authenticity." Qin Feng came back to his senses. He realized that the depth of the Divine Fall Sea had nothing to do with him. His priority was to complete the task at hand. "Brother Qi, I have a way to heal your mother," Qin Feng suddenly said. Qi Longxing was stunned. His mouth opened and closed, but no words came out. Even Yu Jiao, who was at the peak of the body condensation realm, lost her composure. She sat up straight and looked at Qin Feng in shock. "What did you just say?" Yu Jiao raised her voice. Qin Feng used his divine sense to scan the surroundings. He threw out a dozen array flags and set up a simple soundproof array. The secret of the aromatic consciousness pill was very important. He had to be careful. If the secret of the aromatic consciousness pill being able to heal one's divine sense was leaked, the entire South Flat Continent and even the Divine Honor Continent would be alerted. "Brother Qin, what are you doing?" Qi Longxing was confused. Yu Jiao could tell that he had set up a simple soundproof array. "Don't worry, young hero Qin. The Heavenly Water Cave abode is my private territory. No one would dare to use their divine sense to enter." Qin Feng nodded and said, "Caution is the parent of safety. Senior Yu Jiao, I found a bottle of pills in an ancient cave abode. It can heal one's divine sense. I'll give it to you now." Qin Feng took out a bottle of aromatic consciousness pill. This pill was a priceless treasure to any cultivator on the Divine Honor Continent. However, it was nothing in Qin Feng's eyes. Back in the North Sand Continent's Violet Cloud Valley's secret territory, White Spirit Mountain, he had cheated the old man sealed in the cave of many aromatic flowers and 100 herds grass. These two spiritual herbs were the main ingredients for refining the aromatic consciousness pill. When he gave away the bottle of aromatic consciousness pill, Qin Feng couldn't help but think of the North Sand Continent's Fei City's governor, Fei Baisong, and the great elder, Fei Shan. Qin Feng had injured their divine sense and promised to refine pills for them to heal their divine sense. Thus, the two of them came to him. However, he still didn't have the time to heal their divine sense. Yu Jiao and Qi Longxing couldn't recognize the whole bottle of aromatic consciousness pill in front of them. It was their first time seeing this kind of pill, Could it really heal one's divine sense? Young hero Qin, I appreciate your kindness. However, rumor has it that there are no pills that can heal one's divine sense in the divine honor continent. However, there are some pills that can heal divine sense. You should keep this bottle of pills. Yu Jiao pushed the jade bottle back. Qin Feng was speechless. He knew that once the aromatic consciousness pill was released, it would be even more sensational than the spirit surge pill. However, Yu Jiao still came back. Senior Yu Jiao, why don't you try one of the pills first? No matter what, this bottle of pills definitely has no side effects. As Qi Longxing's good brother, how could I harm Senior? Qin Feng couldn't reveal the truth about the aromatic consciousness pill. Even if he believed that Yu Jiao and Qi Longxing would help him keep the secret, this secret was too important. The two of them might give themselves away in front of others. Since Qin Feng had put it this way, Yu Jiao couldn't refuse. Qi Longxing was full of anxiety. He didn't want Qin Feng to be sad, but he was also worried that something would happen to his mother after taking the pill. After all, his mother's divine sense was severely damaged. If something else happened, it would be very troublesome. Brother Qin, why don't you let me try one of the pills first? Qi Longxing suddenly suggested. Qin Feng understood what he was thinking, and he was instantly speechless. This was a bottle of aromatic consciousness pill. If it was revealed, it would shake the entire divine honor continent. Every pill was a unique treasure. How could it be used as a test? Qi Longxing's opponent was Qin Feng, so he didn't care about the aromatic consciousness pill at all. All right, try one and try it. Qin Feng didn't refuse. The aromatic consciousness pill had a miraculous effect on healing and nourishing one's divine sense. Even if Qi Longxing's divine sense was never damaged, it could still purify and strengthen it. Chapter 1988. Qi Longxing swallowed a spiritual pill without saying anything. It was as if he had eaten a piece of bubble gum. Even Qin Feng, who didn't care much about the spiritual pill, felt depressed when he saw this scene. The pill melted in his mouth and emitted a rich aroma. Yu Jiao smelled the aroma and said, "If I'm not wrong, this is a Tier 1 7 King pill. As for what kind of pill it is, I really haven't seen it before." As a peak body condensation realm expert, Yu Jiao had an understanding of Tier 1 7 King pills. However, she couldn't understand what Qin Feng took out this bottle of pills. Not long after he ate the pill, Qi Longxing felt the inner energy in his body start to flow backwards and rush into his mind. This was the first time he had encountered this kind of situation. He immediately showed a look of panic. Not good. This pill is probably a demonic pill. I think I'm going to go crazy. Yu Jiao immediately grabbed Qi Longxing's wrist and sent some inner energy into his body. Her expression changed drastically. Qi Air, quickly seal your mind. Young hero Qin, what kind of pill is this? Why is there such a strange reaction? Although Yu Jiao was still calling Qin Feng, young hero Qin, a faint murderous aura shot out from her body. Qin Feng didn't care about this. Anyone who saw something strange happening to their son's body would be anxious. Senior Yu Jiao, this is a normal reaction from the pill. The reason why I dared to say that this bottle of pill can repair the mind is because I ate one before. After eating the pill, you'll feel the inner energy in your body go out of control and flow backwards into the mind. This process is the effect of the pill. It has the miraculous effect of automatically repairing the mind. Qin Feng's situation was exactly the same as Qi Longxing's, but Yu Jiao still had a worried expression. Qi Longxing quickly calmed down. Although he hadn't known Qin Feng for long, he trusted Qin Feng's character. Since Qin Feng had personally eaten this kind of pill, there was nothing for him to be afraid of. Qi Longxing had already released his body and allowed the inner energy to flow into his mind. After a moment, his mouth opened wide, and an expression of disbelief appeared on his face. Qi Air, are you okay? Yu Jiao was anxious at the side. Qin Feng smiled and said, Senior Yu Jiao, I believe that the medicinal effects of the medicine have completely taken effect, and Brother Qi's divine knowledge Si has been nourished and strengthened. Qi Longxing looked at Qin Feng and nodded repeatedly. Then he said to Yu Jiao, "Mother, this is really a miraculous pill that can repair the sea of consciousness. Hurry and try one." I can see that the damage to Senior Yu Jiao's knowledge sea is quite serious. Furthermore, it has been so long. I'm afraid that just one medicinal pill won't be able to completely heal her. Why don't you take 2 medicinal pills at once? Qin Feng suggested. Since Qi Long had already tasted the fragrant scents pill, Yu Jiao didn't hold back anymore. She poured out 2 pills from the jade bottle and swallowed them, then sat back down on the jade bed and began her closed-door cultivation. 6 hours later, Yu Jiao slowly opened her eyes. Qi Longxing immediately walked up and asked, "Mother, how do you feel?" Qin Feng didn't need Yu Jiao's reply to know that the perfumed consciousness pill was effective. At this time, although Yu Jiao's complexion couldn't be said to be rosy and glossy, it was much better than before when she was as pale as paper. Moreover, the aura on her body was clearly much stronger, unlike before when it was intermittent. Amazing! This bottle of medicinal pills is really amazing. Only Yu Jiao knew her own body's condition the best. She had long despaired over her heavily injured knowledge sea. Originally, she thought that she would never be able to improve her cultivation in this lifetime and might even gradually fall as time went by. Unexpectedly, 2 medicinal pills had allowed her to regain the senses of her knowledge sea. Yu Jiao immediately swept out her knowledge sea. This feeling that she hadn't felt for a long time made her ecstatic. Ever since her knowledge sea was heavily injured, she couldn't even control her knowledge sea. She often couldn't sense the existence of her knowledge sea. When she swept out her knowledge sea, Yu Jiao was sure that the bottle of medicinal pills was really useful. She immediately got off the bed and cupped her fists towards Qin Feng. "Young hero Qin, thank you for your medicinal pills. These are miraculous pills that can heal one's knowledge sea. You generously took them out. It is Qi Er's good fortune to have a friend like you." Qin Feng waved his hand and said, "Senior Yu Jiao is too polite. This bottle of medicinal pills is indeed precious, but I have no use for them now. Naturally, I will take them out for Senior's urgent use. I see that Senior's injuries haven't fully healed yet, so I will give the remaining medicinal pills in the jade bottle to Senior." Qin Feng only had 1 bottle of scent pill in his possession, and it was concocted by him a long time ago. He had concocted 12 scent pills in one go, and now he gave them all to Yu Jiao. Qin Feng wasn't afraid that his knowledge sea would be injured in the future, and he wouldn't have enough medicinal pills to use. This was because he still had a few fragrant flowers and 100 herds grass in his storage ring. He could concoct scent pills at any time. Yu Jiao and Qi Long were stunned. They already knew the miraculous effects of the scent pill and knew how precious this bottle of medicinal pills was. Yet, Qin Feng gave it away for free without hesitation. "Young hero Qin, I appreciate your kindness, but I, Yu Jiao, am not a greedy person. You can take the remaining medicinal pills back. If one day your knowledge sea is injured, keep them and use them." Yu Jiao pushed the jade bottle back to Qin Feng. Qi Long also nodded at Qin Feng. Qin Feng admired the mother and son's character. He took out another jade bottle and poured out 2 medicinal pills. These 2 are spirit cleansing pills. They can remove pill toxins from one's body. I found them in the same cave. You can take these pills. Qin Feng had found the spirit cleansing pills on the 0th level of the 13 palaces when he met Yuanqiu, who was running for her life, and saved her. Then, he obtained the 100 Immortals flower and concocted a cauldron of spirit cleansing pills. Qi Long and Qi Long's expressions changed drastically. They hadn't completely recovered from the shock of the scent pill, and now they were shocked by the spirit cleansing pills. "Brother Qin, you actually have so many precious medicinal pills. Although there are medicinal pills that can remove pill toxins in the South Plateau continent, they are extremely rare. You can't buy them even if you have the money," Qi Long said after regaining his senses. Yu Jiao's expression became serious. "Young hero Qin, you mustn't reveal these medicinal pills to others. Otherwise, you will be killed."
Don't worry, Senior. I know this, Qin Feng said with a smile. They chatted for a while more before Qin Feng and Qi Long left the Heavenly Water Cave. Yu Jiao's condition had just improved, and she needed to rest and recuperate. After leaving the cave, Qi Long's eyes were still filled with shock. He started to look at Qin Feng in a new light. Qin Feng was only at the 3rd level of the Void God Realm, but he was able to instantly kill the 4th level of the Void God Realm, the White Dragon 3rd Majesty. It was clear that he was a top genius among human cultivators. He also had many mystical pills on him. He might even be a disciple of a 7-star sect in the South Plateau continent. Although he was very curious, Qi Long didn't ask too much in the end. The reason why he befriended Qin Feng was because of Qin Feng's character, and not because of the power behind him or anything else. Oh right, Brother Qin, you said that you came to Gray Island to do something. If it's convenient, I might be able to help you, Qi Long said after regaining his composure. Qin Feng took out the treasure map that Ah Ko had given him, pointed at the location of the treasure, and asked, Brother Qi, what is this place? Qi Long wasn't in a hurry to answer. When he saw the map that Qin Feng opened, he was shocked. Brother Qin, where did you get this map of Gray Island? Qin Feng realized that something was wrong. A senior gave it to me. Is there a problem? There's a big problem. This map is too detailed. Even my royal father's map of Gray Island isn't as detailed as Brother Qin's, Qi Long said. Qin Feng already knew that the map that Ah Ko gave him wasn't ordinary, but he didn't expect it to be so valuable. Qi Long continued, because Gray Island is divided into 3 regions, and each region has its own king, it's very hard to get a comprehensive map of Gray Island. Even the leaders of the 3 regions can only get a detailed map of their own region. Brother Qin's map of Gray Island is very detailed for all 3 regions. This can only mean one thing. The person who drew this map has been to the 3 regions of Gray Island. After Gray Island was occupied and divided into regions, this kind of thing couldn't have happened. Unless the person drew this map 1,000 years ago, he wouldn't have been able to traverse the 3 regions of Gray Island. Qin Feng understood what Qi Long meant. 1,000 years ago, Gray Island was divided into 3 regions. Each region could only be entered by Yao cultivators of the same tribe. Moreover, each region had deep forbidden areas. Even Yao cultivators of the same tribe were forbidden to enter those places. Only the great protectors and leaders of the tribe could enter those places. The panoramic map of Gray Island that Ah Ko gave him had drawn all the places. Even the forbidden areas were very detailed. Huh? Isn't this the Sword Peak? Why isn't it marked? Qi Long questioned. Qin Feng's expression changed. He immediately asked, Sword Peak? The Sword Peak, that's even more famous than the 3 regions of Gray Island? Yes. The Sword Domain is there. It opens once a year, and each time it opens for a month. This year, the Sword Domain will open in a month, Qi Long said. Qin Feng didn't think that the treasure that Ah Ko was looking for was on the Sword Peak. He was a bit speechless. If he knew this earlier, he would have stayed with his father and grandfather in the 80-kilometer city. 1 month later, he would go to the Sword Peak with Xian Hai and help Xian Hai participate in the Sword Domain competition while searching for the treasure. Knowing that the treasure was near the Sword Peak, Qin Feng immediately had many questions. Brother Qi, isn't the Sword Peak more famous than the 3 regions of Gray Island? This map is so detailed. Why didn't it mark the Sword Peak? Qi Long frowned and said, This is also the question I was wondering about. Logically, it shouldn't have been marked. It was because the Sword Peak wasn't marked on the treasure map that Qin Feng left the 80-kilometer city and came to Gray Island. Otherwise, he would have stayed in the 80-kilometer city. Brother Qin wants to challenge the Sword Domain? Qi Long couldn't understand. In the end, he didn't want to think about it anymore. Qin Feng didn't know much about the Sword Domain, so he could learn more from Qi Long, that's right. The reason I came to Gray Island this time is to challenge the Sword Domain. It's my first time doing so. Is there anything I should pay attention to? Every year, there are many human and beast cultivators who challenge the Sword Domain. It's said that every cultivator only has 1 chance to challenge the Sword Domain.
Once you leave the Soar domain, you won't be able to enter again. That's why many cultivators wait until they're fully prepared before challenging the Soar domain. Until now, I still haven't dared to enter. I'm afraid that I'll fail after challenging a few levels. However, since Brother Qin wants to challenge the Soar domain this time, I'll go with you. Let's enter the Soar domain side by side. Who knows, we might be able to pass a few more levels. He was afraid that his fellow demon cultivators would come looking for trouble with Qinfen. Qinfen sat quietly on the bridge. From time to time, a few Yao cultivators would cross the bridge. When the Yao cultivators saw that there were human cultivators here, they were surprised and displeased. However, when they saw Qi Longxing standing behind Qinfen, the Yao cultivators all shook their heads and sighed. Some of them even cursed loudly before leaving. Qi Longxing was already used to being misunderstood by his own kind. He couldn't be bothered with them. Qinfen didn't care about them either. He focused all his attention on sensing the aura of the formation. An hour later, he found the flight restriction formation. It was indeed an ancient flight restriction formation. The aura of the formation was extremely ancient. It was very similar to the aura of the Seven Stars formation in the Violet Afterglow Valley Mystic Realm in the Northern Sand Continent and the Grade 9 Spatial Isolation formation at the entrance of the 10,000 Insect Valley. Qinfen couldn't tell what grade the flight restriction formation on the bridge was. It was at least a Grade 6 formation. Qinfen guessed that it was probably a Grade 9 flight restriction formation. It was no wonder that even the number 1 formation sect in the South Flat Continent, the 10,000 Array sect, was helpless against the flight restriction formation on the bridge. An ancient formation like this was set up by an ancient powerhouse. After thousands or even tens of thousands of years, it still existed. It was clear how powerful the formation was. Qinfen didn't even have the intention of trying to break the formation. He knew that with his current formation skills and the strength of his true essence, it was impossible for him to break the flight restriction formation on the bridge. However, this formation was extremely profound. He could use it to study it in depth. Just as Qinfen was immersed in the profound mysteries of the formation, the Creation Chapters mantra automatically activated. Qinfen's mind suddenly became clear. Countless thoughts flashed through his mind. That invisible and intangible formation actually formed a spatial structure in his mind. It was as if it was placed before his eyes in a vivid and lifelike manner. Qinfen was pleasantly surprised. He quickly checked the method of setting up the flight restriction formation, the positions of the formation flags, the setting of the formation eye, the supply, and recycling of the formation's energy. Each of these knowledge was profound and profound. However, Qinfen didn't retreat at all. He practiced the formation model in front of him over and over again. Perhaps it was because of the effects of the Creation Chapters mantra, but his comprehension ability was extremely strong. After continuous practice and corrections, his understanding of formations had unknowingly reached a whole new level. So that's how it is. A formation can be set up like this. It's indeed profound. In the blink of an eye, 3 days passed. Following Qinfen's sudden shout, his figure was already in midair. He continuously threw out formation flags in his hands. It was a spectacular sight, like a celestial maiden scattering flowers. Qi Longxing was already dumbfounded. From Qinfen's practice method of setting up the formation, he realized that Qinfen wasn't just a formation master. He was also a very powerful formation master. In fact, he was even a Grade 5 spirit formation master. While he was in a daze, a simple spirit gathering formation was formed. Instantly, spirit vortexes surged from the bottom of the bridge. They quickly rose to the top of the bridge, like a dense spirit cloud. As expected, I've finally become a Grade 6 formation grandmaster. Qinfen raised his head to the sky and laughed. Qi Longxing didn't have the time to care about Qinfen's advancement to formation grandmaster. He realized that the bridge was already completely surrounded by spirit cloud vortexes. The spirit fog even affected one's vision. It made one feel as if they were in a paradise. Brother Qi, what's going on? Qinfen also realized the situation. Qi Longxing found it hard to explain. I don't know either. It's just that after Brother Qin scattered the formation flags, countless spiritual vortexes rose from the bottom of the bridge, and then it became this paradise. I've never seen a place with such dense spiritual energy before. If I were to cultivate here, my efficiency would most likely double. Qin Fen's expression changed. He had already guessed some of the secrets. What he had just set up was a simple grade 6 spirit gathering formation. Even though it was just a simple formation, it was still a test for formation masters. When the simple spirit gathering formation was formed, Qin Fen knew that he had officially stepped into the level of a grade 6 formation grandmaster. Unexpectedly, this action caused the spirit energy of the bridge to change. This meant that there was a very dense spirit energy under the bridge. It was very likely that there was a spirit vein. When he thought of the spirit vein, Qin Fen was sure that there was a spirit vein under the bridge. This spirit vein provided the energy for the forbidden space formation and the transportation formation on the bridge. This was why the ancient formation on the bridge had been preserved until now. However, to use a spirit vein as the energy supply for formation, this kind of extravagance was truly shocking. Even a nouveau riche like Qin Fen was dumbfounded. Brother Qi, I understand now. This bridge is the transportation formation. That's why after crossing the bridge, the climate and environment of the islands on both sides of the bridge changed greatly. Qin Fen's previous guess was confirmed. This news completely changed Qi Longxing's understanding. From the moment he was born, he thought that the 3 northern islands were connected. It was just a bridge that separated them. Brother Qin, are you sure you're not mistaken? I don't know how many times I've walked this bridge, but I've never seen a transportation formation door. Qi Longxing didn't dare to believe it. All transportation formations had an entrance and exit. It was precisely because of this that Qin Fen didn't dare to confirm the existence of a transportation formation when he first stepped on the bridge. He didn't even find the entrance, but he had already walked to the other side of the bridge. But now he had seen through the mystery of the entrance. Brother Qi, actually, the moment we stepped on the bridge, we already entered the transportation formation door, Qin Fen said. Qi Longxing still didn't understand. What do you mean? Qin Fen said concisely. This bridge is the entrance to the formation door. When we walk on the bridge, we are actually teleporting inside the formation.
Ah?
There's such a transportation formation? This is the first time I've heard of it. Qi Longxing was shocked. Even Qin Fen was seeing such a mystical transportation formation for the first time. It could actually hide the formation door in a physical object and make it completely undetectable. There's no doubt that there's a teleportation array hidden in this bridge. But now, I've thought of something else. You said that your father had invited the sect master of Myriad Array sect to check the bridge, but he couldn't break it. Is that true? Qin Feng's expression turned solemn. Qi Longxing was still in a daze from the transportation formation. He subconsciously said, "That's right." At that time, the sect leader of All Array Gate personally brought people over. They were all formation experts, but they couldn't think of a way to break the formation. Qin Fen had long heard of All Array Gate. Not long ago, he had even killed their genius disciple, Wan Li, at the genius meeting. All Array Gate was the only 6-star formation sect in South Plain State. It was rumored that the most powerful formation master in South Plain State was in All Array Gate and had already reached the level of a level 6 formation grandmaster. Meanwhile, Qin Fen had only just become a formation grandmaster. Yet, he had already seen through the transportation formation on the bridge. He didn't believe that All Array Gate didn't discover this transportation formation when they came to look at the bridge. At that time, All Array Gate only said that they couldn't break the flight restriction formation and didn't say anything else. Qin Fen asked. Qi Longxing had already woken up. He realized that Qin Fen seemed to have discovered something fishy. He immediately replied seriously, "I was there too." All Array Gate didn't say anything else. They just looked at the bridge and said that they couldn't break the flight restriction formation before leaving. Then, who was the one who suggested letting All Array Gate look at the formation? Qi Longxing thought for a moment and said with a cold expression, "Among the 8 claws who brought the protector of Nanming Palace to capture Brother Qin, That guy is the most despicable. He specially makes things difficult for human cultivators. 8 claws? Qinfen revealed a look of deep thought. After a moment, he said to Qi Longxing, "Then why did your father want to break the flight restriction formation on the bridge?" Chapter 1990. Qi Longxing said, "Father isn't the only one who wants to break the flight restriction formation on the bridges. It can be said that all the demon cultivators on the 3 northern islands hope to break the flight restriction formation on the 3 bridges. Without it, we can fly over the 3 islands at any time. With the flight restriction formation, you can only take the bridges to reach the other islands, right?" Qinfen asked. Qi Longxing nodded. "That's right, Brother Qin. These 3 bridges are a bit unnecessary and hinder our movement." Qinfen's expression changed. No one knew what he was thinking. Seeing that he was deep in thought, Qi Longxing didn't disturb him. After a while, Qinfen suddenly leaped up and flew into the spirit cloud layer. His figure disappeared. Hundreds of formation flags fell like arrows piercing through the clouds, covering the entire bridge. "Brother Qin, what are you doing?" Qi Longxing couldn't help but ask curiously. Qinfen didn't answer. He was fully focused on setting up the formation. When he heard that the sect leader of the All-Formation sect had brought people to investigate the flight restriction formation, he felt that it was strange. When he learned that the All-Formation sect was invited by Baji, this matter became even more suspicious. A few days ago, Qinfen had seen Baji. That guy had a close relationship with the protector of Nanming Temple and seemed to be dissatisfied with the demon cultivators of the 3 northern islands. Qinfen couldn't help but have a bold guess. Baji had invited the All-Formation sect to study the formation with a purpose. Perhaps the All-Formation sect wasn't interested in the flight restriction formation, but the teleportation formation. When Qinfen saw that there was a teleportation formation on the bridge, he immediately realized a serious problem. If the teleportation formation on the bridge was destroyed, it would be difficult for the demon cultivators on both sides of the bridge to travel. This was a huge hidden danger. However, this was just Qinfen's guess. He had always been cautious and would rather believe it than not. Thus, he set up a teleportation formation on the bridge, which could move the formation door of the teleportation formation to a nearby location. At this moment, Qinfen would never have thought that this small, impromptu act of his would one day save the Black Snake King's tribe. When the teleportation formation was set up, Qinfen landed on the bridge. "Brother Qi, take me to the other 2 bridges." Qi Longxing didn't know what Qinfen was thinking, but he could tell that Qinfen was setting up a formation on the bridge. "Brother Qin, what formation are you setting up?" "A Class 6 teleportation formation. It can move the entrance of the teleportation formation on the bridge. Once I've set up the teleportation formation on the other 2 bridges, I'll teach you how to activate the teleportation formation." Qinfen did not hide the truth. The reason he had set up the teleportation formation was to leave a way out for Qi Longxing and his clansmen. Under Qi Longxing's lead, the 2 of them went to the other 2 sky bridges. Just as he had guessed, these 2 sky bridges also had a sky ceiling formation and a hidden teleportation formation. The formation door of the teleportation formation was also hidden on the sky bridge. Qinfen set up a level 6 teleportation array on each of the overhead bridges. He had just become a level 6 array formation grandmaster not long ago, so he could use the teleportation array to strengthen his array formation skills. When the formation was completed, Qi Longxing was abruptly jolted awake. Only now did he realize a shocking truth. "Brother Qin, you're actually a tier 6 array grandmaster?" Qinfen said gloomily. "Brother Qi, I already told you when I became a formation grandmaster." Qi Longxing was attracted by the spirit clouds surging from the bottom of the bridge and did not pay attention to Qinfen's words. Now that he realized this, he was so shocked that he mumbled to himself, "Monster! Brother Qin, you're really a monster." Knowing that the treasure Ah Ko was looking for was on the Sword Peak, Qinfen decided to temporarily stay in the 3 northern ring islands to cultivate in seclusion. He would meet up with Xian Hai when the sword domain opened. He had been staying in Qi Longxing's private cave for the past few days. Although Qi Longxing was ostracized by the majority of his fellow demon cultivators, he was still the 8th son of the Black Snake King. Furthermore, he was also the son of the Empress, so no one dared to offend him. Qin Fan first consolidated his formation skills. He set up a Tier 6 defense formation and a Tier 6 killing formation in Qi Longxing's cave. It took him a whole week to set up these two formations. Fortunately, they were successfully completed in the end, and the effect of the formations was even better than he had imagined. After his formation skills were stabilized, he did not plan to break through to the next realm, because he had recently leveled up continuously from level 7 of the True Spirit to level 3 of the Empty God realm. If he did not first stabilize his current realm and blindly pursued a higher realm, it would not be worth it. Qin Fan took out the more than 10,000 spiritual crystals of fire that he had obtained in the cave in the Insect Valley. The surrounding temperature suddenly soared, and the air became illusory. The rock walls around the cave turned fiery red. Spiritual crystals of fire were the best cultivation resources for cultivators with spiritual root of fire and those who practiced fire attribute cultivation methods. At the same time, this kind of spiritual crystal of fire could also be used to store heavenly fire. However, its effect was much worse than the level 7 spiritual herb fire spirit lotus that Qin Fan had used before. Back in the cave in the Insect Valley, Qin Fan had used 3 fire spirit lotuses to upgrade the spirit sunflower kindling once. Now, he planned to use spiritual crystals of fire to continue strengthening the spirit sunflower. Qin Fan did not need to worry about the strengthening process. He just released the spirit sunflower kindling. This kind of spiritual heavenly fire automatically attached to the spiritual crystals of fire and began to absorb the energy. However, the effect of the spiritual crystals of fire was slower than Qin Fan had imagined. The spirit sunflower kindling needed 1 hour to absorb one spiritual crystal of fire. If it absorbed more than 10,000 spiritual crystals of fire, it would take a long time. Qin Fan was anxious and had the impulse to take out the 9-leaf fire spirit lotus. He was sure that this kind of mutated fire spirit lotus could definitely upgrade the spirit sunflower kindling for the second time. However, he only had one 9-leaf fire spirit lotus, and this kind of level 9 spiritual herb had an even more nature-defying effect, which was to store primordial spirit. Primordial spirit would only be produced after breaking through the body condensation realm. In the end, Qin Fan gave up the idea of using the 9-leaf fire spirit lotus to upgrade the spirit sunflower kindling. He wanted to keep the 9-leaf fire spirit lotus until he reached the body condensation realm and refined it into elixirs. After a while, Qin Fan couldn't stand it anymore and let the spirit sunflower kindling absorb the spiritual crystals of fire on its own. He took out more than 1,000 soul crystals from his storage ring. He had brought more than 3,000 soul crystals from the 8th floor of the 13 palaces. After 2 rounds of cultivation, there were only about 1,000 left. Ever since he broke through to the Empty God realm level 3, Qin Fan felt that his sea of consciousness was extremely empty. When he took out more than 1,000 soul crystals, the soul homing technique that he was cultivating started to circulate automatically. His sea of consciousness surged and the energy in the soul crystals turned into green gas and flew into his brain. The empty sea of consciousness was quickly filled with energy. The speed of absorption was like a dry land absorbing water. Qin Fan couldn't handle the speed, and a sharp pain came from his sea of consciousness. He quickly took out the fragrant fragrance flower and the 100 herbage and started refining the fragrant fragrance pill on the spot. The scent pill was only a Tier 1, Tier 7 king pill. With Qin Feng's current alchemy skills as a Tier 5, Tier 7 pill king, it only took him an hour to refine a batch of 12 scent pills. Furthermore, they were all of special grade. Qin Fan immediately swallowed 2 fragrant fragrance pills. Such precious pills that could be peerless in the divine continent were now ordinary pills in his sea of consciousness. The 2 fragrant fragrance pills quickly took effect. Turbulent true essence flowed into his brain. The pain in his sea of consciousness disappeared, as if it was being nourished by rain. After the energy in the soul crystals was absorbed, they scattered like fossils in the wind. The pile of soul crystals that was originally like a small mountain was reduced again and again. In the end, all of them were absorbed by Qin Fun. Rumble. A muffled sound came from his brain. His sea of consciousness was like an erupting volcano. After it calmed down, he felt that his sea of consciousness had expanded a lot. When he released his soul consciousness, it covered a wide area. His soul consciousness condensed into a substance like a spider's web, as if it could entangle a person. My sea of consciousness has broken through again. Qin Fun was overjoyed. A black shadow flew into the cave, and Qi Long's anxious voice came from the air. Brother Qin, what happened?
Haha.
It's nothing. I've broken through again. Qin Fun was in a good mood. Although he still didn't know the levels of the sea of consciousness, he could feel that his current sea of consciousness was even stronger than the early stages of the body condensation realm.
What?
Brother Qin broke through after half a month of closed-door cultivation? You really are a monster. The longer Qi Long knew Qin Fun, the more he felt Qin Fun's strength. He was stunned for a moment before continuing. Wait, Brother Qin is still at the Empty God Realm Level 3. Qin Fun smiled but didn't say anything. The breakthrough he was talking about was the breakthrough of his sea of consciousness. The significance of the breakthrough of the sea of consciousness was much more important than the breakthrough of his realm. I've been in closed-door cultivation for half a month. Looks like I'll have to go to the Sword Peak in a few days. Qin Fun changed the topic. Qi Long saw that he didn't want to talk about it, so he didn't pursue the topic. Oh right, Brother Qin, today is the day of the Tsang Islands election. Do you want to go to the High Sea City to have a look? Qin Fun asked, what is the Tsang Islands election? Is it a martial arts competition? Qin Fun had participated in many martial arts competitions. He guessed that the Tsang Island selection was a competition between beast cultivators. He wasn't interested. Qi Long said, it's not a martial arts competition. It's a beauty contest. Qin Fun was surprised. This was the first time he heard of a beauty contest since he came to the Divine Continent. Beauty contest? Hee. Brother Qin, are you interested? Qi Long revealed an expression that all men knew about. Qin Fun's interest was piqued. Recently, he didn't have any woman by his side. He had been wholeheartedly cultivating. Now that a beauty contest suddenly appeared, it was very attractive. What kind of place is the High Sea City? Is it far from here? Will there be any trouble if we go there? Even though he was tempted, Qin Fun still prioritized safety. Not long ago, he killed the third prince of the Nanming Temple. Now he was being chased by the entire Nanming Temple. If he left the 3 northern islands rashly, he would most likely die. Qi Long had already considered these problems. He patted his chest and said, Brother Qin, don't worry. The High Sea City is very close to the 3 northern islands. It's only 100 miles away. My pinwheel flying ship can reach there in the time it takes for an incense stick to burn. As for inside the High Sea City, you don't have to worry about safety. The High Sea City is the only public city on the Tsang Island. Not only beast cultivators from the 3 regions of the Tsang Island can enter, but even human cultivators can also enter. Once you enter the High Sea City, you will receive the protection of the High Sea City. No one would dare to cause trouble inside. Chapter 1991. Qin Fun realized that the High Seas City was a public city similar to the Sky Connecting City and the 80-Mile City. According to Qi Longxing's introduction, the High Seas City was managed by the 3 leaders of the Green Islands demon race. Since the demon cultivators of the 3 regions couldn't interact with each other, they established the High Seas City to facilitate the exchange of resources between the demon cultivators. After the time it took for an incense stick to burn, the 2 arrived at the High Sea City. As soon as they got off the pinwheel flying ship, more than 10 demon cultivators flew over and surrounded them. And human, I knew you would come to the High Sea City. Let's see where you can run to now. An angry roar came from the crowd, accompanied by a violent burst of zhenyuan, attracting many onlookers. Qi Longxing's expression was grave. The people who came were Nanming Temple's great protector Vashi and the others. He didn't expect this old guy to be waiting for Qin Fun near the 3 northern islands. Qi Longxing immediately regretted it. He felt that he had harmed Qin Fen. If he had known earlier, he wouldn't have come to the beauty contest. However, Qin Fen's expression was calm, as if he wasn't worried about Vashi's existence at all. "Why are you looking for me?" Qin Fen asked in an arrogant manner. Vashi was so angry that his beard was puffing and his eyes were glaring. His clothes were fluttering due to the Zhenyuan. "You tell me, why am I looking for you? You dared to kill the White Dragon Third Prince, so don't even think about leaving Grey Island alive." Whoosh! The onlookers started to clamor.
What?
A human cultivator dares to cause trouble on Green Island? He even killed His Highness Bai Jiao of Nanming Temple? Rumor has it that Nanming Temple's great protector Vashi has already stepped into the cauldron-filling realm. That human ant is dead for sure. Isn't killing forbidden in the High Sea City? Does Nanming Temple dare to ignore the rules? After knowing that Qin Fen had killed His Highness Bai Jiao, many people forgot that they were in the High Sea City. However, Qin Fen still remembered. Otherwise, he wouldn't have come here. "It's true that I killed Bai Jiao, but he initiated a life-and-death battle with me. In the end, I killed him." Seeing that Vashi really wanted to quibble, Qin Fen didn't wait for him to speak and said to Qi Longxing, "Brother Qi, do you still have the crystal ball? Let everyone see it and judge for me." Qi Longxing snapped out of his daze and immediately realized that he was in the High Sea City. His tense heart relaxed, and he quickly took out a crystal ball. The crystal ball was thrown into the air and grew in size. Images began to appear on its surface. It was the White Flood Dragon's promise that life and death would be up to the heavens. Vashi was so angry that his expression turned sinister, but Qin Fen acted as if he didn't see it. He even smiled at him and said, "Vashi, since His Highness, White Jiao Dragon has already made a promise, life and death are up to fate. Now that you've brought a group of experts from Nanming Palace to kill me, isn't this a little unreasonable? Or are all the demon cultivators of Nanming Palace like this? Their words are like farts." Voila! The crowd went wild again. Qin Fen was the first person on Grey Island who dared to say such arrogant words in front of a cauldron-filling realm cultivator. Vashi was so angry that he wanted to swallow Qin Fen alive. However, he didn't dare to make a move. This was the High Sea City, which was jointly managed by the three northern islands, Nanming Palace and East Dragon Palace. If he made a move here, it would be the same as Nanming Palace breaking the rules. He would probably be suppressed by East Dragon Palace and the three northern islands. "I don't believe that you'll hide in the three northern islands and the High Seas City forever. As soon as you appear in another sea region, I'll kill you immediately." Vashi left after saying some harsh words. The crowd that was watching the show also quickly dispersed. After knowing that Vashi had been secretly watching him, Qin Fen's mood became heavy. How could he go to the Sword Peak? "Brother Qin, it's all my fault. If I knew this would happen, I wouldn't have come to the High Seas City." Qi Longxing's face was full of guilt. Qin Fen patted his shoulder and said, "Brother Qi, don't blame yourself. This isn't your fault. On the contrary, because I came to the High Seas City this time, I found out that Vashi has been secretly waiting for me. Now, what I'm most worried about is how to leave the High Seas City." Qin Fen fell into deep thought. Qi Longxing also started thinking, but after thinking for a long time, he still couldn't think of a feasible way. At this time, cheers came from the High Seas City's plaza. When Qin Fen came back to his senses, he saw that the plaza was already surrounded by people. Not only were there beast cultivators in the crowd, but there were also many human cultivators. Everyone surrounded the plaza, cheering and screaming. In the center of the plaza, a light platform rose. Qin Fen could see that it was a level 6 defense formation. On the light platform, there were thousands of beautiful women in bright clothes, each with their own merits. "Brother Qin, the beauty contest has begun." Qi Longxing suddenly became excited. Looking at the various beauties on the round platform, he momentarily cast aside all his worries. What is the beauty contest? Are the cultivators at the side of the plaza choosing the thousands of beauties on the platform? Qin Fen was puzzled. Qi Longxing revealed a manly smile. How is that possible? Who would participate in such a boring thing? The beauty contest is to choose beauties. If Brother Qin takes a fancy to any of them, you can also bid. Qin Fan didn't expect the beauty contest to be like this. It seemed that he had misunderstood. He instantly lost interest in this beauty contest. This was no different from the brothels in ancient China. Qin Fan even felt disgusted. However, Qi Longxing was in high spirits. In the eyes of beast cultivators, the annual beauty contest was a very important event. This was because among the offspring of humans and beast cultivators, there were some extremely talented genius cultivators. Therefore, beast cultivators would find human beauties to copulate with and try to produce outstanding offspring. Brother Qin, use your human sense of beauty to help me see which is the beauty. Qi Longxing had already pulled Qin Fan to the side of the plaza. Qin Fan casually swept his gaze over the 1,000 women trapped in the level 6 defense formation. More than half of them were human cultivators. These female cultivators didn't have high cultivation bases, but they were all beautiful women with fair skin. Thinking about their fate of being sold to strangers to copulate and have children, Qin Fan felt some sympathy. Brother Qi, it's better if you don't buy them. Two people need to be willing to be together. Even if these forcibly bought women are beautiful, their hearts won't be yours, Qin Fan advised. Qi Longxing looked at Qin Fan in surprise. But all the human concubines in my royal father's palace are bought this way. Qin Fan knew that Qi Longxing had been influenced by his environment since he was young. Some of his thoughts had long been solidified. For example, he had always thought that the 3 northern islands were connected by a bridge. Then, Brother Qi, you should choose for yourself. Qin Fan chose to respect Qi Longxing's thoughts. Qi Longxing seemed to realize that Qin Fan didn't really like this beauty contest, but he didn't understand why. Forget it. Since Brother Qin doesn't want to choose beauties, then I won't choose either. Qi Longxing sighed. Qin Fan patted his shoulder. He knew that Qi Longxing was only doing this out of consideration for his feelings. Since the two of them didn't want to choose beauties, Qin Fan decided to find an inn in the High Seas City. Even though the High Seas City was only 100 miles away from the 3 northern islands, Qin Fan believed that he would be instantly killed the moment he left the High Seas City. He wouldn't even be able to escape from the 3 northern islands. Right now, the safest place was the High Seas City. Qin Fan had to think of a way to escape. However, just as he was about to turn and leave, his gaze suddenly fell on a woman standing on the far left of the thousands of beauties on the stage. The woman stood in the corner of the crowd with a gloomy expression. It was as if she was in a different world from the noisy crowd. Her hair was tied up in a bun on top of her head. Even with her bangs combed back, she was still a beauty. Li Shanshan. Qin Fan murmured. The lonely and helpless woman standing in the crowd looked very much like Li Shanshan. However, Qin Fan didn't expect to see Li Shanshan on the South Flat Continent's Green Island. Brother Qin, is there a beauty on the stage that you know? Qi Longxing asked. Qin Fan's gaze fell on the woman, but he didn't dare to confirm it. Logically speaking, Li Shanshan should be studying in the Acropolis City. She should have graduated and started working by now. Why would she appear on the divine mainland? Did she also go to the teleportation array? Thousands of thoughts rushed into Qin Fan's mind, and he was momentarily confused. Back when they were still in the Acropolis City University, the divine doctor of traditional Chinese medicine, Li Xingtian, entrusted the little girl to him for the rest of her life. His warnings seemed to still ring in his ears. However, it had been many years since then, and the distance between them was a whole realm. Brother Qi, if you like the woman on the stage, how do you bid? Qin Fan asked immediately. Even if he couldn't confirm whether the woman was Li Shanshan or not, he had to get her first. Qi Longxing didn't know what was going on. He smiled evilly and said, I really thought Brother Qin didn't like women. I didn't expect you to be so polite with me. Qin Fan rolled his eyes. I feel that the woman on the stage is very similar to an old friend of mine. I can't let her become someone else's plaything. Qi Longxing stopped smiling. He had never seen Qin Fan so flustered in the days he knew him. Even when Vasily appeared earlier, Qin Fan was calm and composed. Qi Longxing immediately realized that the woman on the stage had a close relationship with Qin Fen. She might even be Qin Fen's female companion. If that was the case, Qi Longxing would definitely help Qin Fen snatch her away. Brother Qin, don't worry. There will be a bidding session later. Every woman will bid individually. When it's time to bid for Brother Qin's friend, we'll just have to spend some money to buy her. As he spoke, Qi Longxing took out a storage ring and threw it to Qin Fen. All my belongings are in there. Brother Qin, feel free to use it. Qin Fen didn't lack money, but he wasn't sure whether spirit stones or other resources would be used in the auction. After all, the High Sea City was within Grey Island's territory. Yao cultivators were prevalent here. If sea stones or crystals were used as a bargaining chip, then Qin Fen really didn't know what to do. When he used his spiritual sense to scan the storage ring that Qi Longxing handed over, he heaved a sigh of relief. There were 50 million high-grade spirit stones in the storage ring. This meant that the main bargaining chip for the auction was spirit stones. Brother Qi, don't worry. I still have some spirit stones. I believe there won't be a problem bidding. Qin Fen returned the storage ring. Qi Longxing said with a straight face, Brother Qin, are you complaining that you don't have enough spirit stones? Or do you not see me, Qi Longxing, as a brother? Now that your friend has been captured and auctioned, how can I just stand by and watch? Qin Fen felt a surge of warmth in his heart. In reality, 50 million spirit stones wasn't a lot. The bottle of spiritual fragrance pills he gave to Yu Jiao half a month ago had already exceeded this price. However, Qin Fen also knew that this 50 million spirit stones was all Qi Longxing had. Qi Longxing had taken it all out without hesitation. Chapter 1992. Qin Fen didn't reject Qi Longxing's spirit stones anymore. He knew he didn't need these 50 million spirit stones, but it was Qi Longxing's kind intention. At this time, the light platform floating in the center of the square started to rotate slowly. The 1,000 girls on the platform were like a runway show, taking turns to appear in front of the cultivators around the square. Wow! There are so many beauties in this year's beauty contest. That girl in the blue dress is not bad. There's nothing wrong with marrying her as a concubine. Compared to human girls, I prefer demon cultivator girls. Their bodies are so good, their eyes are naturally seductive, and their every move can attract people's attention. Great Guardian Vasily, let's not worry about that human ant named Qin for now. As long as he dares to leave the High Sea City, he will die sooner or later. The beauty contest is only held once a year. Let's pick a beauty too. Who knows, maybe the next generation will also have a monster like the first prince. When mentioning the first prince of Nanming Temple, even Vasily revealed an expression of admiration. 100 years ago, a heaven-defying demon cultivator appeared on Green Island. He was the child of the White Dragon King of Nanming Temple and a human female cultivator. He was named Jest. Jess was different from other descendants of demon and human cultivators. He was born with a human appearance, but his bloodline was still the White Dragon King's. His birth shocked the entire demon cultivator clan on Green Island because he was born as a first Saint King. When he was 10, he stepped into the first transformation Buddha light. When he was 20, he entered the Void God realm. When he was 50, he reached the body condensation realm. When he was less than 100 years old, he had already crossed the cauldron-filling realm. With such a heaven-defying cultivation talent, there was no one else in the entire Green Island who could match him. If he continued to cultivate at this speed, in another 100 years, even the Black Serpent King and the White Flood Dragon King would be overshadowed by him. The probability of a monster like Jest appearing is 1 in 10 million. Ever since he was born, it has been a trend for demonic cultivators to mate with human cultivators to form offspring. But in the past 100 years, there hasn't been another Jest. Although Vasily said that, she also wanted to give birth to a second Jezite with a human girl. Now, Jezite was only a little over 100 years old and had already consolidated his strength in the Ekayana realm. Back then, he had only stepped into the Ekayana realm when he was over 200 years old. It's fine to just fantasize about it. Don't take it too seriously. It's better to keep an eye on that surnamed Qin. That human ant is very cunning. If we let him escape again, we won't be able to answer to the White Flood Dragon King when we return. Since Vashi had spoken, the other disciples gave up on the idea of bidding for the beauties on the stage and could only watch from the side of the square. Fellow friends who have come from afar, I have kept you waiting. This year's beauty contest is about to begin. I am the great elder of All Complete Trading Company, Ji Feiyun. Thank you, everyone, for your love and support for our All Complete Trading Company. In order to thank everyone, this year's beauty contest will select 3 lucky cultivators and give them a female human cultivator for free. Qin Feng didn't expect that the High Seas City's beauty contest was organized by the Wan Quan Trading Company. It seemed like the Wan Quan Trading Company was quite influential in the entire Green Island. No wonder they didn't put the dominating Heaven Furnace Trading Company in their eyes. Brother Qin, the Wan Quan Trading Company is a force of the East Dragon Palace. The East Dragon Palace is one of the 3 major forces of the Green Island, but it is very mysterious. Normally, it is very rare to see disciples of the East Dragon Palace in the Green Island. Even the fact that the Wan Quan Trading Company belongs to the East Dragon Palace is a secret. I once accidentally heard it from my royal father. Qi Longxing introduced the details of the Wan Quan Trading Company. Qin Feng was instantly puzzled. When he came to the Green Island, he killed the great elder of the Celestial Gourd, Mu Feng, and released the 88 furnaces. Among those furnaces, there was a true spirit realm beast cultivator called Yu Duo, who claimed to be a disciple of the East Dragon Palace. If the Wan Quan Trading Company really belonged to the East Dragon Palace, then why didn't Yu Duo escape from the dominating Heaven Furnace Trading Company and seek help from the Wan Quan Trading Company? This question was hard to answer, so Qin Feng simply didn't think about it. As for the relationship between the Wan Quan Trading Company and the East Dragon Palace, it was none of his business. When Qin Feng regained his composure, the beauty contest had officially begun. 10 beautiful women flew out from the light stage and floated in the air. Their dresses fluttered in the wind as if they had descended from heaven. That woman in the green dress is too beautiful. These 10 women each have their own merits. I really want to buy all of them, but they must be very expensive. I have my eyes on that long-legged and slender demonic cultivator woman. I hope that everyone will give me some face and not fight with me for her. Not only were there demonic cultivators in the crowd at the square, but there were also many human cultivators. In the eyes of demonic cultivators, human beauties were novel to them. Similarly, in the eyes of human cultivators, demonic cultivators were irresistible to them. Qin Feng glanced at the old man with the surname Lin, who was standing not far from him and shouting. He was an almighty being who had stepped into the body condensation realm, and this old man was wearing the uniform of Gu Xiaoyao, one of the 4 7-star sects of the South Flat Continent. Qin Feng didn't expect that even an elder of Gu Xiaoyao would come to participate in the beauty pageant. Seeing the heated atmosphere below the stage, the great elder of the Wan Quan Trading Company, Ji Feiyun, smiled and said, "The 10 women in front of us are all outstanding beauties. The starting price for each of them is 100,000 high-grade spirit stones, and each increment must be no less than 10,000 spirit stones." Ji Feiyun's bid was slightly out of Qin Feng's expectations. A woman only had a starting price of 100,000 high-grade spirit stones? Even a human life shouldn't be worth so few spirit stones, right? Although Qin Feng hadn't confirmed that the woman standing in the corner on the stage was Li Shanshan, he felt pity for these women. Not only were they going to be sold to others to give birth, but they were also being sold at such a low price. Brother Qin, you don't have to care about the women in front. Although these women are not bad-looking, they are basically ordinary humans or demonic cultivators without any cultivation. Even if someone buys them, they will only be treated as concubines. They won't have any other thoughts, Qi Longxing explained. Qin Feng hated this beauty contest more and more, but he couldn't do anything. He couldn't possibly spend money to buy all the women here, could he? Even if he could afford it, how was he going to settle these women after that? If he simply let them go, they would probably be caught again soon and suffer the same fate. Qin Feng knew that he wasn't a savior. With his current strength, What he could do was extremely limited. 110,000 spirit stones for woman number 1. 120,000 spirit stones for woman number 5. 500,000 spirit stones for female Yao cultivator number 9. Don't you dare compete with me. As soon as Ji Feiyun's voice fell, the square was filled with the sound of bids. The 10 women on the stage looked gloomy, their eyes empty, and they seemed lonely and helpless. Qin Feng couldn't stand it anymore, so he retreated to the side and used his divine sense to block the sounds from the outside world. When the woman who looked like Li Shanshan came on stage, he asked Qi Longxing to call for him. After an unknown amount of time, Qi Longxing walked to Qin Feng's side. Qin Feng removed his divine sense, and the crowd's screams and shouts immediately returned. He walked back to the side of the square and found that out of the thousands of women on the stage, only 100 or so were left. Li Shanshan was still among them, and she was currently bidding with 7 other women. Everyone, please be quiet. Let me introduce these 8 women to you. Not only are they outstanding beauties, but they also have spiritual roots. They are the best reproductive partners in a million places. Ji Feiyun's words were very direct, and it immediately caused the crowd to boil. Qin Feng's face was cold. He came from Earth, where men and women were equal. He couldn't agree with the concept of the divine supreme continent. However, the only thing he could do was to bid for Li Shanshan. As for the other women, they could only pray for themselves. There are actually 8 female cultivators with spiritual roots. The resources for this year's beauty contest are very good. Fuck. Even I don't have spiritual roots, and the strongest among those girls is only at the early stage of the true spirit realm. Some of them have just entered the Sage King realm. It's such a waste to let them have spiritual roots. If a demonic cultivator and a human female cultivator with spiritual roots get together, will the offspring be as monstrous as just? The crowd was in an uproar. One should know that spiritual roots were very rare in the South Flat continent. Those cultivators with spiritual roots were basically the genius disciples of 5-star and 6-star sections. If they had 2 or more spiritual roots at the same time, they would definitely be fought over by 7-star sections. Hearing many people in the crowd call out Jest's name, a man wearing a long black cloak and a black straw hat that completely covered his body and face at the corner of the square curled up the corners of his mouth. A body condensation state old man standing behind him scolded coldly. Humph. A group of ants daydreaming. A peerless genius like your First Highness. There won't be a second one in Green Island. No, there won't be a second one in the entire South Flat continent. No, there won't be a second one in the entire Divine continent. The body condensation state old man was the black-robed man's subordinate, and he called the black-robed man Jest. Jest didn't care about the old man's flattery. His gaze pierced through the air and landed on Li Shanshan. He said indifferently, I like that purple-robed human female cultivator. The body condensation state old man's expression changed drastically. He didn't expect His Highness Jest to like a human female cultivator. With his naturally arrogant personality, he never cared about human cultivators. He even looked down on demonic cultivators, making him seem like a new existence that surpassed humans and demonic cultivators. When the body condensation state old man came back to his senses, he immediately replied, Don't worry, Your Highness. Leave this to me. After saying that, he didn't even listen to Ji Feiyun's starting bid and shouted, Human female cultivator number 3, 10 million high-grade spirit stones. The noisy square suddenly quietened down. Tens of thousands of eyes looked at Jest. What's the background of this old demonic cultivator? How can he bid 10 million right off the bat? The starting bid is only 2 million high-grade spirit stones. He just increased it by 5 times. I know him. He's the little guardian of Nanming Palace. I think he's always by Jest's side.
Damn.
That mysterious black-robed man is Jest? Chapter 1993. Jest? Which Jest? Which Jest could it be? There is only one monster Jest on the entire Green Island. When someone recognized the body condensation stage elder beside Jest, the crowd instantly boiled over. To be honest, as a Yao cultivator of the Green Island, not many people had seen Jest in person. They had only heard rumors about him. Now that they had finally seen Jest, they discovered that he was wearing a black robe and a black hat. He was tightly wrapped, and no one dared to use their divine senses to scan under the black hat. That was definitely a suicidal action. "This is bad, Brother Qin. Jest has taken a liking to that friend of yours." Qi Longxin's expression instantly turned serious. Qin Fen had never heard of Jest's name, and he had no interest in this Yao cultivator genius. However, now that Jest wanted to snatch someone from him, he had no choice but to start paying attention to him. In a split second, Qin Fen's divine sense had already swept towards Jest. Ever since he broke through to Nihility God Realm Level 3 and swallowed the 1,000 soul crystals not long ago, his divine sense had become incomparably powerful. Moreover, he could release and retract it at will. Even the speed at which he released it was several times faster than cultivators of the same realm. Qi Longxin was unable to capture Qin Fen's divine sense. Or rather, by the time he realized that Qin Fen had actually used his divine sense to sweep towards Jest, it was already too late for him to stop him. In just a breath's time, Qin Fen's divine sense had already enveloped Jest. He immediately realized that something was wrong. This guy's realm was unfathomably high. The moment he looked at him, the divine sense he released was dispersed. At the same time, an even more ferocious divine sense shot towards him. Many cultivators on the plaza were dumbstruck. They all felt Qin Fen's action of using his divine sense to check on Jest. So there really was an existence in the Green Island who was not afraid of death. Jest's counterattack was swift and violent. By the time Qin Fen realized that the divine sense had shot towards him, his sea of consciousness had already been invaded. Without thinking, Qin Fen immediately urged his entire sea of consciousness to resist. His sea of consciousness surged like waves, and the divine sense that shot out seemed to condense into a dense spider web. Layer upon layer, it formed a white silk barrier, narrowly blocking Jest's divine sense attack.
Boom.
A series of muffled sounds rang out in Qin Feng's mind. He felt a stabbing pain in his head, as if his head was about to explode. The cultivators in the square were still foolishly waiting for Qin Fen to scream or suddenly faint, or even explode on the spot. However, after waiting for a long time, they discovered that Qin Fen was still standing in the same place as if nothing had happened. How is this possible? Gerst, who had always been mysterious and aloof, suddenly opened his mouth. His tone was filled with bewilderment. The body condensation state elder behind him was filled with shock. He could clearly feel Jest's powerful spiritual sense attack. That kind of spiritual sense was something that even he couldn't defend against. Yet it was blocked by a Nihility God Stage Level 3 human ant. Qin Fen had indeed blocked Gerst's divine sense attack, but he had used all his strength. Even so, his divine sense had suffered considerable damage. Moreover, Qin Fen knew that Gerst had casually unleashed that attack. If Gerst had unleashed his full power, he didn't know what kind of terrifying divine sense attack it would have been. Qin Fen didn't want to wait for Gerst to attack again. If that happened, he would most likely die. What are the rules of the High Seas City? Did the guards in the city not notice that someone used their divine sense to attack me? Qin Fen roared angrily. When he finished speaking, 3 figures floated in the sky, as if they had always been there.
Who attacked you?
One of the white-haired elders asked. Qin Fen glanced at him and couldn't see through his cultivation. However, before Qin Fen could reply, Qi Long cupped his fists towards the sky and said, "Fifth uncle, it was South Ming Palace's Gerst who secretly attacked Brother Qin with his divine sense." It turned out that one of the 3 elders floating in the sky was the great protector of the 3 northern islands. He was also Qi Long's uncle. However, Qi Long's 5th uncle didn't seem to care about him. He said with an indifferent expression, "I'm asking that human cultivator." "Don't interrupt." Qi Long could only shut up. Qin Fen said, "Senior, it was indeed South Ming Palace's Gerst who attacked me with his divine sense." Qilong's fifth uncle's expression was cold. His divine sense had already surrounded Gerst. The High Seas City is a city jointly built by the three great territories of Grey Island. They agreed to coexist peacefully within the city and that no killing is allowed. Gerst, although you are the Great Highness of South Ming Palace, you can't casually break the rules. You know very well what kind of punishment you will receive. Of course, the High Seas City doesn't allow killing. However, aren't you being too hasty by relying on a one-sided statement from a human ant? Another elder in the sky said. Qilong immediately lowered his voice and whispered into Qin Fun's ear, "That old bastard is the great protector of South Ming Palace. Naturally, he'll help Gerst." This time, Qin Fun finally understood. The three old men floating in the sky were the representatives sent by the three sea domains of Grey Island to protect the city. This meant that the last old man who didn't speak was someone from the Eastern Dragon Palace. The elder from the East Dragon Palace didn't have any intention of speaking. He looked as if he was watching the other two fight. Qilong's fifth uncle and the great protector of South Ming Palace didn't pay attention to him either. It was as if he didn't exist. If that human cultivator wasn't attacked, why would he frame Gerst for no reason? Moreover, Qilong also felt Gerst's divine sense attack. He can be considered a witness. Qilong's fifth uncle didn't stand out because of him. It was because the three northern islands and South Ming Palace had never been on good terms. The Yao cultivators of both sides fought constantly. If they could use this opportunity to get rid of the number one genius Yao cultivator of Grey Island, Gerst, then it would be a huge blow to South Ming Palace. South Ming Palace naturally understood this logic. The Great Protector shouted with a cold expression, "Humph. Everything must be based on solid evidence. Just because of a few words from that human cultivator and that traitor Yao cultivator, you're accusing Gerst. It's really ridiculous." It seemed that Qilong was very famous on Grey Island. However, it wasn't a good reputation. The Great Protector of South Ming Palace continued, "Or, let me give you a hypothetical. If Gerst had really used his divine sense attack on that human ant, do you think he would still be alive?" This hypothetical really stumped Qilong's fifth uncle. Gerst was the publicly acknowledged number one genius among the Yao cultivators of Grey Island. He was now an almighty, with a cultivation of cauldron-filling realm. Meanwhile, Qin Fun was only at the third level of the Void God realm. If Gerst used his divine sense attack on him, his sea of consciousness would instantly collapse. At this moment, Qin Fun stood on the plaza, without a change in expression. He didn't look like he had been attacked at all. "Humph. Since you have nothing to say, then hurry up and leave. Let the beauty contest continue. Stop embarrassing yourself here." The Great Protector of South Ming Palace chased after him fiercely. Qilong's fifth uncle was so angry that he blew his beard and glared at the Great Protector. However, in the end, he couldn't find any words to refute. His figure flashed and disappeared as if he had never appeared. Chapter 1994. Actually, all the cultivators on the square knew that Jest had used his divine sense to attack. Because that divine sense was too powerful, many people felt it. However, it was too hard to find evidence with divine sense. Even Qi Longxing's crystal ball couldn't catch it. Plus, Jest was the number one beast cultivator genius of Green Island and the first majesty of Nanming Palace. Who would be tired of living and stand out to accuse him? The farce was over. Qin Fun became the focus of the entire square. Countless cultivators looked at him. Some of them pitied him, but most of them had a playful smile. Daring to offend a monster like Jest, this hollow god level 3 human cultivator probably wouldn't live long. Jest didn't care about the discussions of the crowd. His cold gaze landed on Qin Fun. Qin Fun was the first person on Green Island who dared to use divine sense to check him. First Majesty Jest, he's just a hollow god level 3 human ant.
Why do you care about him?
It's not worth it to affect the mood of choosing beauties because of this trash. The body condensation state old man immediately flattered. Jess said coldly, "I always felt that guy looked familiar. Now I understand. He's the killer of third brother by Jiao. His words shocked the body condensation state old man. He immediately looked at Qinfen again. He couldn't understand where this hollow god level 3 human ant got his guts from. How dare he go against Nanming Palace again and again? Just wasn't the only one who recognized Qinfen. Many cultivators in the crowd also remembered. When Qinfen and Qi Longxing just arrived at High Sea City, she really came looking for trouble. That human cultivator is the killer of Third Majesty by Jiao.
Damn.
Is that guy crazy? Is he tired of living? He's not even 30 years old, yet he's already at Nihility God Realm Level 3. That human cultivator can be considered a top genius. He must have the backing of a 7-star sect in the South Flat Continent. Could it be that a 7-star sect is looking for trouble with the South Bright Palace? Imagination existed everywhere. When Qinfen heard everyone's guesses, he couldn't help but roll his eyes. At this moment, an excited and familiar shout came from the beauty contest stage. Qinfen, is it really you? The crowd was stunned, and the square fell into silence. The voice came from one of the 8 women who were bidding. It was just subordinate, number 3, who had bid 10 million. Countless gazes landed on the number 3 woman. She was dressed in a fluttering purple robe, and her long hair was tied up in a bun. Her eyebrows were curved, and her eyes were azure blue. Her nose was ridiculously tall, and her lips were thick and seductive. Li Shanshan's life was very rough. She was deceived by the William family in the United States, who used her to kill her father, Li Xingtian. Her mother was an American, and her father was a Chinese. Therefore, she had the perfect appearance of a mixed-race woman. She would be a top-notch beauty on Earth, and in the divine mainland, she was one of a kind. No wonder Senior Jezite took a fancy to the third girl. I didn't take a closer look at her before, but now I realize how extraordinary her beauty is. 10 million spirit stones is worth it just to buy this woman's beauty, not to mention that she is a cultivator with a spirit root. Whose name did number 3 call? If I'm not mistaken, he's the human cultivator who killed third prince by Jiao. The crowd was in an uproar. They were all deeply attracted by Li Shanshan's beauty and found it difficult to move their gazes away. Everyone was looking at her from under the bridge, but she only had eyes for Qinfen. When he heard Li Shanshan's call, Qinfen immediately scanned the area with his divine sense. At that moment, he finally confirmed that the woman on the platform was Li Shanshan. He didn't expect that she would also come to the divine mainland. Instantly, Qinfen's eyes turned red. Of course, he knew that Li Shanshan's purpose in coming to the divine mainland was to find him. On Earth, Li Shanshan was lonely and relied on him as her boyfriend. Now that she came to the divine mainland, she didn't know anyone and only wanted to look for her family. 20 million spirit stones. Qinfen channeled all his emotions into his voice. His tone was firm, and there was no room for doubt. The quiet square erupted again. Now, even an idiot could see that Qinfen and Li Shanshan's relationship was not shallow, and Jezite had also taken a fancy to Li Shanshan. Another big show was about to begin. Reckless human ant, how dare you go against the Elder Highness? I want to see how rich he is. The body condensation realm elder was enraged. It was rare for the Elder Highness to take a fancy to a woman, so he could show off his skills. But now, Qinfen jumped out and messed things up. 30 million spirit stones. The body condensation realm elder yelled. The crowd screamed. Just listening to this kind of bidding method was exciting enough. 10 million spirit stones in one bid was a resource that many cultivators couldn't earn in their entire lives. 40 million. Qinfen didn't even blink. 50 million. The body condensation realm elder didn't back down either. The bidding continued to rise. In just one incense's time, the price had reached a sky-high 100 million spirit stones, which shocked the 3 great protectors of the High Sea City. Jezite's subordinate, the body condensation realm elder, felt a little weak in the face of the sky-high price of 100 million spirit stones. He had painstakingly collected spirit stones for his entire life, but he only managed to get a little more than 100 million. The body condensation state elder stopped bidding and asked carefully, "Your Majesty, that human ant is clearly trying to make things difficult for us." Buying woman number 3 for 100 million spirit stones is already a big loss. Do we still want to continue? Jezite didn't pay attention to him, nor did he care about the price of 100 million spirit stones. His eyes were fixed on Qinfen, and there was a strong murderous intent hidden in them. To him, this was no longer a simple matter of 100 million spirit stones. He was the #1 beast cultivator of Song Island. No one dared to fight for anything he fancied. Even a senior like Vasily had to give in to him. Now a mere hollow god level 3 human ant dared to go against him in public. This made him lose face. There's no point in bidding like this. If you don't like me, you can stand out and challenge me. A cold voice spread through the square. The crowd was instantly shocked. That was Jezite's voice. Everyone had already forgotten that this was a beauty contest. Their gazes shifted back and forth between Qinfen in jest, and a hint of anticipation flashed in their eyes. "Brother Qin, don't agree to Jezite," Qi Long said anxiously. Before he could finish, Qinfen shouted in Jezite's direction, "You are a cauldron-filling realm expert. Aren't you afraid of being laughed at for challenging me, a hollow god level 3 cultivator?" Jezite's face was covered in frost under his black hat. His voice was so cold that it was about to freeze. The divine supreme continent respects the strong. If you're not strong enough, don't look for excuses. If you can survive one attack from me, I'll consider it your win. I'll buy girl number 3 for you with 100 million spirit stones. If you don't dare to compete, get out of High Seas City immediately. Don't embarrass yourself here. Jezite's words were domineering and arrogant. However, no one dared to question him. They even thought that what he did was reasonable. Qilong's expression was very serious. He was afraid that Qinfen would agree. Before he could dissuade him, Qinfen already said, "I don't agree." Phew, Qilong let out a long sigh. The square was filled with sighs. Heh, that human ant isn't as stupid as I thought. He still knows his place. I thought he would agree. After waiting for so long, this is the result? Looks like we won't be able to see Senior Jezite fight today. What a pity. To them, even if Qinfen accepted the challenge, he would still die. However, they didn't want to see Qinfen. They wanted to see the legendary #1 monster cultivator, Jezite. When Qinfen rejected her, Li Shanshan's expression suddenly darkened. Disappointment and astonishment appeared in her beautiful azure eyes. She had traveled tens of thousands of miles to another plane to find her boyfriend. After experiencing untold hardships, she had finally found the person who was so far away. The moment she saw Qinfen again, Li Shanshan felt that all the hardships she went through were worth it. However, she couldn't imagine that Qinfen would abandon her. "Since you're afraid, then get out of here." Jezite's tone was filled with pride. "In my heart, student Li Shanshan can't be measured with money. However, if you really want a price, 100 million spirit stones is not enough. I want to increase it to 1 billion spirit stones." Qinfen's words ignited the crowd. The cultivators who were sighing immediately regained their spirits. Qilong's eyes rolled back and he almost fainted from anger. Li Shanshan's expression was sluggish. Tears kept flowing out. "Even if we've traveled to another realm, even if we haven't seen each other for several years, you've never changed. And I still love you the same," Li Shanshan murmured in her heart. Even Jezite was stunned. When he came back to his senses, his anger soared to the sky. "Reckless human ant. Do you think I'll believe you have 1 billion spirit stones? Is 1 billion spirit stones a lot? If you don't have it, then just back out," Qinfen said coldly. Jezite clenched his teeth. He guessed that Qinfen didn't have 1 billion spirit stones. Instead, he used this kind of method to act shamelessly. Very quickly, a cold smile appeared on his face. He even sympathized with Qinfen. Playing petty tricks on him was no different from throwing away one's life. "There are 1 billion spirit stones in this ring. Do you have any?" Jezite casually threw out a storage ring. Inside the ring were all the spirit stones he had. However, he showed an indifferent expression as if he was throwing away trash. The cultivators on the square immediately scanned the ring with their divine senses. They realized that the divine sense seal on the storage ring had been removed by Jezite. It was obvious that Jezite was publicizing the resources inside the ring for everyone to see for free. When tens of thousands of divine senses scanned the ring, the cultivators were shocked. This was the first time they had seen so many spirit stones in their lives. The storage ring was like a continuous mountain range, and those mountain ranges were all piled up with spirit stones. It really is 1 billion spirit stones. I suspect it's even more than 1 billion. I've long heard that the beast clans on Green Island are all rich cultivators. Today, I see that it's indeed true. I think that human ant is still okay. He's too embarrassed to stay any longer. This time, his face has been slapped swollen by Senior Jezite. The crowd was discussing. Qi Longxing was dejected. He wished he could throw 1 billion spirit stones at Qinfen to help him regain his face. However, he had already given all the 50 million spirit stones he had to Qinfen. On the other hand, Li Shanshan stood on the light platform anxiously. Her hands clutched the hem of her clothes. She had been in the Divine Continent for some time now. Naturally, she understood the significance of 1 billion spirit stones. She felt that Qinfen couldn't take out so many spirit stones. You're tuning in to the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.